was up to Changu. Was he going to make a big play? Was Zapno going to make a big play as well? And the small clutches, the small decisions that Aether were doing were actually working out so well for them, except that the later stage of the game, Jeff Cutie Forever was unkillable almost, as well as Zapno with the Winter Truncheon completed, with the non-stop lifesteal from these two heroes. It was just so easy to fight.
Yeah, it was that moment that happened, and the turnaround. Oh, Zapno gets picked off there.
Yeah.
But they started sensing like, hey, we can focus on Zapno after all. But then Execration turned that into their advantage and started turning tables around team fight after team fight.
And the big advantages were, of course, with the control over the big Lord area. And Kenji being eliminated very, very early on. I think that's very important because then again, you know that hero, that Leomord, was their battering ram to reduce the HP bars of Execration. And if he gets taken out just like that, there was really no way that they could clean that up easily. I mean, Kenji was doing his absolute best for a majority of the fights, but when he disappears, Execration was just dancing around with the rest of Aether main members.
Yeah, Execration showing the superior movements and the micro movements there in each of every team fight. Each time that they get caught up, like grouped up, they manage to just spread out safely here, just like in this team fight. They manage to just work around their opponents here as they just deal damage after damage from their safe positions and vantage points. Something that both Zapnu, Jeff Cutie, and Bet all utilized to their advantage, and now we saw the Leomord just running for his life, a rare sight to see.
Yep, and because of that, again, Leomord was not in a position to fight for the later part of that game. Execration was able to overwhelm Aether main, even though they were doing so well. As I have to really iterate, it was not a one-sided fight at all. I was kind of just waiting for that to go towards AE's side for the later part. That just did not happen. Pakbet gonna be the MVP though on that game. 10 free and 10 on the Harley. Very, very impressive indeed. We got 72k damage dealt, and damage received is also not bad, considering he was flying around.
Yeah, he had this minor blunder in the early games where he made a mistake with his space escape, but the poker tricks and the deadly magics, he was really on point. It managed to get the pickoffs that he needed on the side for Aether main, which was something that Execration's key to victory there.
Exactly. Again, congratulations to Execration winning that with a 2-1 against Aether main. A very impressive victory indeed. Again, if you guys are watching Mobile Legends Bang Bang Professional League Season 2 Road to the Nationals, brought to you by our legendary sponsor, Smart. And right there. So, again, we have been your casters for that game. I'm Rockhart.
And I'm Zendex.
We're going to be seeing you later on for more Mobile Legends Esports action. Don't touch that browser. Stay tuned.
Download for free Mobile Legends Bang Bang.
Once upon a time, Maharpura was a rich and prosperous kingdom with great historical position. Minsitar was the prince of Maharpura. Young as he might be to serve in the forces, he was respected with his remarkable achievements and was called one of the 4 great generals of Maharpura. But heroes could never avoid falling for beauties. Minsitar met up with a beautiful girl on the lakeside of the palace, and soon later they fell in love with each other.
However, his father, the king, knew about it very quickly. Minsitar begged and begged, but still his father strongly stood against his love. Tense was the atmosphere when the king held the holy spear towards his son. Minsitar's father couldn't be more furious. Minsitar realized his decision could not be changed, and the consequence had already been beyond control. he was driven out of the palace.
Years flew by, and the king got serious disease with few days left. The palace was covered in sadness and panic. Rebel and unrest seized the chance, and the whole palace fell into chaos.
Foreign forces started their invasion upon hearing the death of the king. Poor Maharpura was under will of its enemies. And soon became devastated.
Maharpura was in great crisis. The prince should take the holy spear and save the kingdom and his people. Prince unhesitatingly took the holy spear and fought against the enemies. Finally, through countless wars, Minsitar wiped out all the invaders and rebelling enemies.
Maharpura was at peace again. Prince Minsitar was deeply loved by the people and ascended the throne. He became the next king of Maharpura.
Minsitar brought revolution and innovation to his kingdom. Soon later, Maharpura became a prosperous kingdom again.
Download for free Mobile Legends Bang Bang.
Hi everyone, welcome to another episode of Hero Spotlight. Today we will introduce to you a new hero,
Minsitar.
the courageous warrior.
Minsitar
Is the king of the Maharpura. With the holy spear inherited from his father, he could pull any enemy to himself at his will. What is the most fearsome aspect of this hero is that he can summon 4 royal guards to fight at his side. In a word, this hero is a fighter that could summon guards to fight alongside him and stop enemies from escaping using directional blink skills. First skill,
Minsitar
stabs forward with the Spear of Glory, dealing physical damage to all enemies along the way. When pulling back the spear, he will also pull the first enemy towards himself, dealing physical damage and knocks them back afterwards. Try to better use this skill and pull back the backline heroes who are easy to slay, even when they're hiding behind the tanks. Second skill, Minsitar awakens the strength of the golden shield to obtain a shield effect, and immediately increases movement speed. Meanwhile, he releases the power within the golden shield forward. The power explodes upon hitting the first enemy unit, and deals physical damage to all enemies in the area. The first enemy will be stunned for several seconds, and the other enemies will be knocked back. The range of the skill is not too wide, so better use it together with his first skill, and by doing so, the hit rate will be increased. Ultimate.
Minsitar
Charges a short distance forward and calls 4 royal guards to form a shield and fight together with him. Each attack of royal guards deals physical damage. When staying in the area,
Minsitar
increases his physical and magic defenses. Enemies within the field reduce movement speed and cannot use directional blink skills. The royal guards cannot move, but they'll attack enemies in the field first. This effect is a nightmare to those who heavily use blink skills. Try to use
Minsitar
first skill, pull enemies back, and use his skill to finish them off. Passive.
Minsitar
Inspires the whole team. Whenever teammates slay enemy heroes, he obtains extra gold. Whenever
Minsitar
himself slays enemies, all the teammates obtain extra gold. With this passive, Minsitar can perform more ganks with his teammates without the worry of his farming falling behind. We recommend these 3 sets of equipment items.
Minsitar
Ultimate will expose him to the enemies, so being more tanky is highly recommended. Endless Battle and Thunderbelt increase the damage of his first and second skills, as well as survivability. In terms of emblems, we recommend the fighter set, which consists of bravery, invasion, and unbending will. It focuses more on attack performance, which will also grant
Minsithar.
the possibility of killing an enemy with combo. For his battle spells, we recommend Flicker. Not only does it increase Minsithar's mobility, but also his flexibility in battle. Therefore, Flicker is practical for both attacking and withdrawing.
Minsithar.
He used his ultimate and dashed into the enemies, for the effect that their blink skills are restricted in the area by
Minsithar.
They had no way but running away. Tigreal dashed in and used his ultimate. He pulled all the enemies together. What a perfect combo. Enemies got wiped out. The victory was with
Minsithar.
Download for free Mobile Legends Bang Bang.
Legendary! Double kill! Chase me! Legendary!
Muscle of iron, bones of steel. No pain, no gain. Muscle of iron, bones of steel. Muscle of iron. Legends never surrender.
Godlike!
Download for free Mobile Legends Bang Bang.
Glad to miss you. Another complete.
Legendary! Our inhibitor turret is under attack. Legendary! You have slain an enemy!
Download for free Mobile Legends Bang Bang.
Once upon a time, Maharpura was a rich and prosperous kingdom with great historical position. Minsithar was the prince of Maharpura. Young as he might be to serve in the forces, he was respected with his remarkable achievements and was called one of the 4 great generals of Maharpura. But heroes could never avoid falling for beauties. Minsithar met up with a beautiful girl on the lakeside of the palace, and soon later they fell in love with each other.
However, his father, the king, knew about it very quickly. Minsithar begged and begged, but still his father strongly stood against his love. Tense tense was the atmosphere when the king held the holy spear towards his son. Minsithar's father couldn't be more furious. Minsithar realized his decision could not be changed, and the consequence had already been beyond control. He was driven out of the palace.
Years flew by, and the king got serious disease with few days left. The palace was covered in sadness and panic. Rebel and unrest seized the chance, and the whole palace fell into chaos.
Foreign forces started their invasion upon hearing the death of the king. Poor Mahapura was under will of its enemies and soon became devastated.
A messenger managed to escape quietly and found Minsithar, the former prince. He told Minsithar that the king had long ago forgiven him, and now Mahapura was in great crisis. The prince should take the holy spear and
Hey guys, welcome back to MPL Season 2. We are now down to our last series. But before that, we are your casters. I'm Yuko.
And I'm Zendex.
Alright, so before we actually dive into the details of our last series for the day, what were your thoughts about last series? That's like the first 2-1 for the day.
Yeah, it was one hell of a fight. Like it went the distance, like 3 games, and all games being really close. But this time we're now approaching in our actually the 3rd series. We have 4 series lined up for today, so this is second to the last one. And now we're now in the draft real fast.
Your
And it's
team
going to be
is
ArkAngel OWN versus WRS Alliance. So ArkAngel OWN has a slightly better positioning in terms of the leaderboard. They're currently ranked number 7 out of 10. While White Rascals, unfortunately, they've been scraping at the
Your
bottom.
team
So
is banned.
These remaining weeks, they have to make all of their games count just so they're not in that really
Your
lonely
team
position.
is
Yeah,
picking.
that's every game counts for White Rascals right now, but so far for the bans, nothing new, but you
Your
can see that
team
Leo
is
was
picking.
the prior ban, so you won't be seeing any amazing Leo Mort plays right now, but that leaves Alice open.
Yeah, Alice is going to be open indeed, but it's kind of hard to predict the draft of White Rascals, seeing exactly that they don't really have any comfort picks. Like all throughout the weeks, they were like picking anything.
Yeah, they were I guess experimenting every game or every series. First lock in though for White Rascals is a carry, so Snow, yeah, Oshina Snow will
Your
most
team is
probably be
picking.
the one that White Rascals would care for this game. And other than that, they picked up a Kaya. We all know Kaya is being the I guess prioritized tank for now because of the, again, Divine Judgment and how useful and lethal that is for the team.
Yeah, also call me corrected, because actually these 2 picks from White Rascals is one of their slightly comfortable picks. The carry will be going to the way of Snow, that is Snow's carry, and the Kaya will be most likely going to be used by
Your
Rabbit.
team
But right
is
now,
picking.
this isn't looking good for White Rascals, as ArkAngel OWN managed to pick up the top 2 prisoners in the game right now.
Of course.
Carbonara, that's definitely his Harley.
Well, we've been seeing Carbonara on mages in a. He's really good at with mages actually, and pickup on Gushen will be super amazing, I guess, for ArkAngel Ownage because we all know how slippery and how huge of a damage Gushen dishes out.
Yeah, with the Gushan and Harley pickup, I don't think the Akai pickups will be doing any good here. But there's a
Yep.
lot of evasion coming out from the direction of Archangel, and they are looking to top it off with a Lolita and a Martis. Archangel Onage already looking very strong here.
Yep. I actually like their draft so far, but I'll have to wait for White Rascals' last pick. I guess they could add in another damage dealer since they already have two of the best tanks, Kaya and the Kai.
Yeah, the two tanks indeed, but the Martis also, Lolita Martis not exactly the tanks that you have in mind when thinking about tanking. It's not as durable as a rock, but it gets the job done. What they wanted with this draft, and here comes the Hayabusa pickup. Not a bad one. So what White Rascals looking to do here is they want to isolate as far as possible the Harley and possibly the Gushan, but it'll be really hard. They have a lot of escape potential here. Archangel Nish, I think they were just going to look and just play normally.
Well, for the two tanks, they have Lolita and Grok, and for White Rascals, they have Kaya and the Kai. Assuming that these four tanks will go head-on when it comes to team fights, of course they will. I have got to give it to ArkAngel Onage's tanks. But if White Rascals is able to farm properly and their tanks will get the amount of resources that they need, they can receive a lot of damage. A lot of skills will be on cooldown for Ownage.
Yeah, but what White Rascals wants to do in this series here, they are looking to pick up a win finally. So playing reactively, it might go their way, but it's something that they might not want to do. It's really hard to think if you're just stuck in the bottom of the barrel. So, but Archangel Ownage, they will be going to the series really confident. So that's something that will be going their way. So we're going into the game shortly, but just to remark, White Rascals, they are yet to show a convincing performance so far in the MPL. I'm hoping that this could be finally it for them.
Yeah, this could this is a chance for them, and I'm personally excited. Even though they may be at the bottom of the barrel for now, they still have a lot of potential, and I actually like how balanced their draft is. But again, they need to take care of carry. Have a first half full of minutes, his carry have to be babysit, and of course their tanks need to tank up. Other members, I think they need a handful more of resources, so I'm not expecting any fast game. This will probably prolong for like 11 to 15, 18 minutes max, but I'm sure these teams will give us an amazing game.
Yeah, hopefully indeed. An amazing game is what we have tuned in here for. Once again, this is the MPL season 2 Road to Nationals, and is supported by our legendary sponsor, Smart. Also, keep in mind that every 5 minutes, you will have a chance to see a small claim button somewhere in the screen.
Smash
so
them!
if you have your mouse in hand and you see that button, just go ahead and give it a click, and you'll be winning something exciting.
Of
There will
course.
be a short pause here, just checking the settings if it's all set and ready to go.
They probably want to make sure that they're all okay. So I actually forgot to ask you, between these two teams' drafts, which are you leaning more on?
I'm leaning more on towards Archangel Ownage. They are looking to be more rounded here. They have the tank in the form of Lolita and the Grok. Also the initiation and counter initiation. The bursting potential with enough evasion, which is Harley and a Gushan, and Martis will be the jack of all trades here. So that's something that Archangel have going on their way. White Rascals, on the other hand, it looks like their picks way. But if they can just think out of the box and approach this game properly with a strategy in mind, they might just take this.
What White Rascals could do though is try to shut down as much members for ArkAngel Ownage, and from there snowball, keep advantage, gold turret takedowns as well. Keep the advantage to their sides. Avoid overextending. Avoid trying to go into 5v5 fights that are kinda icky or F for them. And the typical avoid overextending. If they are able to hold all of these, I think they can win it.
Yeah.
ArkAngel, though, if they do get the advantage that they want, I have to admit that there's a, I guess, good amount of chance that White Rascals may have a hard time catching up.
It will be a really hard time and uphill battle indeed, as they will try to protect as much as possible the Hayabusa and the carry.
Yep.
Both heroes not exactly that shines bright in the first few minutes of the game.
Yes.
So if they can actually just get that soft spot in activating their potential and in going online, they might just steal it away from ArkAngel Ownage. But of course, Ownage also they have the skill on their own right. They won't let that happen. They will play it normally. They will bring down their namesake, the Ownage, towards the direction of White Rascals. But let's see. Maybe the Alliance of Rascals can take this away from here, because it's interesting. Just this team doesn't have the stable pool, as you can see. We didn't really see. Actually, Rek is fanning recently in MPL, which we're not seeing right now. In
All
MPL.
troops
I
deployed.
guess most probably that fanning without the blue buff is pretty much a 50-50 chance, unless your team is really fast with rotations. Another thing I want to point out is when it comes to late game, both of these teams will be so powerful. So I guess it all falls down to who gets the amount of resources and advantage from early to mid game.
Yeah, but look at the late game. I'm leaning more on the carry. Carry can really with a speedy light wheels.
Request
He
backup.
can dual wield the projectiles and just spam everything, all the stack damage in hand. So that's something that they're looking for. So like right now, we're seeing Snow just clearing this jungle monsters away from the map, and that's what both teams are doing right now. No teams play so far, but we might see a movement from Ownage as four of them are grouping up already.
Yep, all of them are just getting the buffs and the amount of farm that they need. I like how White Rascals is doing really well on the rotations, just so they can have map awareness, and I guess to be able to try to pick off as much enemies as they can. Here we go, the Carbonara going in for the first targets can do, but nothing happened, no follow-up. I guess they were just trying to scare him off.
Looks like that we had a role switch here. Carbonara is not in that first hero role right now. I was thinking that the Harley will be going his way.
I honestly thought he was gonna go Harley as well,
Yeah.
but it's something new. Let's see how Carbonara will perform as Lolita.
Looks like they're missing one member. It's actually we're missing Fuzaken, one of their key support heroes, and looks like they are playing with Pao today. And Pao is he's playing the forward role instead of support rather. And Kenzu, will he get focused down? And yes, he does.
blood.
Lambot gets the kill. And Snow to follow. This is not something that they want on a carry.
Turtle
A nice
resurrecting
release from
soon.
ArkAngel right there, because the moment the tank dived in, he knew that he got so much circle, so he flickered out. But after that, another member dived in, cornered White Rascals, and from there, it was their start.
Yeah, that was at level 3 even. There was no Hurricane Dance yet. Like, they didn't really need the isolation potential and the CC from the Hurricane Dance, and now we're seeing ArkAngel only just securing the turtle easily. White Rascals was attempting for a steal, but now they're trying to focus down Carbonara. Lolita, not yet on level 4. No Numenon Blast, but the charge rate from CKTV on the Gushan. He
There was-
easily bursts down.
There was the revenge kill right there, even trade for both teams. I guess they just really want to focus on objectives. They don't want to go with the cheesy or groundbreaking team fights anytime soon.
Yeah,
but
team
they
fights
check-
soon, and they're just trying to prevent
Killing
Kenzu from reaching that
spree.
level 4, and CKTD just going ham and picking up another kill on Rek. That's something that they don't want, as Rek is another core hero, and Lancelot is only shines. Well in the late game, and I don't think he will have a smooth path towards that.
That's true. And I guess if you're a Gushan and you have a 3-0 this time to the game, you're gonna be in it for a good time. But if CKTD gets the kills that he needs, but wait, here we go, Chalk getting pulled in, he gets boxed in, then that was an easy kill for Grok, another kill for ArkAngel Ownage.
Now there's the factor in the Grok, like you can just easily dive in the enemy jungle because of the factor of the wall, the passive. Grok can just easily just online. So ArkAngel OWN looking into a huge advantage already in the 3-minute mark. It's already more than 1 single advantage, and Nate is looking to be in danger. He doesn't have any escape rate available for him, and Kenzu already have the level 4. Lusty goes in, and Nate's already in the low. He teleports to a shadow, but Nate just goes for the retreat. As CKTD patiently waits for that blink back. Kenzu just hurricane dances defensively. As Lusty tries to escape, Chalk finds him, and Chalk picks off Lusty.
Alright, earlier we saw that Knight was actually having a good time escaping because if you're Hayabusa, you
Turtle
can escape.
resurrecting
Problem is,
soon.
Grok actually threw this wall
Request
there, and
backup.
they know that his escape was on cooldown, so that was the moment when CKTD dived in, got the kill, and well, they actually managed to get one revenge kill, but it wasn't much.
Yeah, CKTD still on the aggro side here. He almost picks off Kenzu, but Chalk was just right on point and on the defense. So CKTD will have to settle with just retreating on over there.
He knew that it was a 1v3, so even though the enemy was low health, he doesn't want to risk it because so far we know that he wants to get the gold and the resources that he needs. 4-0 right now for this.
He will leave the dirty work on his teammates as they try to secure the turtle here. But White Rascals, they aren't exactly equipped to just take on this head-to-head. CKTD will be rejoining his team shortly. Lemon is just spamming over. And a steal from White Rascals. Just
Nice
was
steal.
a nice steal on Kenzu, but will have any cost. Kenzu Hurricane dances defensively away once again, and Lusty will pick up that kill after a burst from CKTD.
That was a nice steal from Kenzu, but he actually paid his life for it. ArkAngel was actually really mad. If he wanted that turtle, why did you just steal it? I think the reason why Kenzu died there because even though he popped to try and escape, there was no follow-up. No one was actually chasing down Rock.
Yeah, that action there decided by White Rascals, like just cutting their losses there. It doesn't put them at the advantage in a way that they could catch up, but it just reduces the gap that they have to close later on in the game. ArkAngel looking for the kill on Nate. They fail, so like Hayabusa is one of the heroes that's hard to catch, but it's easy to predict where he will blink, as you can see the shadows as well.
Yep. Nate is actually in a safe position right under the turret, but here we go. Lusty targets Rek, but is saved by Chalk.
Yeah, Rek will be in safety, but Lembot is going to be invaded by Kenzen Snow. Will he fall? Yes, he does. Snow picks up the kill. Lusty will go for the counter attack and doesn't find anything. He doesn't have any follow-up.
Quite a late response right there because Lemon was already dead, but it was worth it SS Bren for Kenzu because Carry was just at the side free hitting.
Yeah, so this pickups is what Snow needs right now. This is what White Rascals need. They need to stack all that experience and gold to the way of both Nate and Snow. And maybe Rek as well. Kenzu just diving to the same turret. He won't be in danger soon enough.
Well, Kenzu is getting pretty tanky. I guess that's why he's not much of a priority right now. I guess assuming there will be huge team fights, the first target will of course be Snow. But if White Rascals does want to initiate team fights, it's gonna be all on Chalk on that guy.
Yeah, it's going to be, I think, I'm predicting this playstyle of White Rascals going further into the game. It will be like a bait and switch style where they will try to bait the enemy into picking off their key heroes, but at the same time, Kenzu just hurricane dances defensively there. He gets picked off. So that's nice play coming out from ArkAngel OWN, just invading and just dishing out the damage that they can confidently over to the way of White Rascals. Here comes the dive from CKTD. Will he find another kill? As Chalk runs towards the signal turret, and CKTD doesn't find anyone.
Yep, going back to that mini clash at the jungle, Kenzu dived in, but there wasn't any follow-up. Rek was there, Nice was there, but I guess there's a sort of a miscommunication. And another kill for this Pao.
Oh,
Yeah.
this is looking really bad for White Rascals as their players just fall one by one. It was also a solo kill to the way of Pao, our player for today, as it's Fuzagen not playing tonight, unfortunately, for those support fans. Fuzagen, one of the top support players in the Philippines right now, and Kenzo is trapped within the wall. He will try to cut his losses and try to pick off Lembot here, but Lembot, he can just space escape nicely from away from that danger.
Yeah, Battle of the Tanks, I'm not sure how long will that be, so they just both decided to disengage, but there was a kill at the bot lane.
Oh, Pao, he's looking to be on fire on this Martis. He's already 2-0-2, looking really good in the way of ArkAngel OWN. on top of that, CKTD is already 603 and having that monster kill.
Okay, so CKTD actually got 6 kills and still wasn't slain. So it's safe to say that this Gushin is getting the snowball that he needs. Mid-game, I'm calling it, he's gonna be the main damage dealer.
Yeah, ArkAngel OWN will just steamroll down to the path towards the enemy base of White Rascals. The thing here that's lacking right now with White Rascals is how do they respond with those invades and those blink-ins. How can they react if Lembot and CKT just comes in? Because the counter initiation is all in the side of ArkAngel OWN. Only they have is Kaya, which is actually a bit of responsive or reactive. Akai, sure, but what ArkAngel OWN will just do is they wait for the cooldown to go off, and they'll just go ham.
Yep, that's true. I guess White Rascals is kinda having a hard time trying to answer the amount of pressure ArkAngel OWN is giving them. And when it comes to rotations, they're kinda lagging. Here you go, Chalk gets spotted. This is gonna be a 1v4. An easy kill for CKTD. Kenzu though tries to answer, but his teammate is already dead, so he just decided to stay under tower.
Yeah, Chalk getting changed. Able right over there, not even getting a dash out or nor a flicker. I'm not sure if he has a flicker equipped, but here comes Rek just chilling in a bush, waiting for opportunity to steal this Lord away from under the nose of ArkAngel OWN. But Carbonara being on point, having the presence of mind, finds Kenzu. As Kenzu again defensively Hurricanes away, and ArkAngel OWN just gives chase, just commits to this offense. And pow, off screen once again, solo killing. And Chalk pulls down CKTD. This might be the pickup that they need as CKTD, the Gushan, falls down to the turret.
Alright, here we go. Rek tried to split push but gets spotted by Lassie. It's gonna be a 1v1, but Lassie is quite tanky. And there is the response from Lembot with this Harley. Look at the burst, man. I think
Spree.
that was enough to actually take down Rek.
Oh, Lembot looking to dethrone Carbonara when it comes to the hero dealing damage here. It's kind of quite unfortunate it's not Carbonara on that piloting that Harley, but Lembot showing that he's up to par. Experience on just handling the flashy heroes. He knows what his teammates exactly need. He knows what the positions that is optimal for a support role such as Lolita. So he's just always placed correctly. We have yet to see an ultimate from the Lolita though. We have yet to see that nice hammered down from Luminous Blast.
Alright, the Luminous Blast. I noticed it's 11 minutes in and both teams actually didn't do much for objectives except for ArkAngel OWN. Usually, by this time comparing to the other games, there's bound to be like 3 or 4 towers down. But these two teams, they just go all in for fight. I'm not sure if this is a plan for ArkAngel OWN to actually deny White Rascals for their farm.
Exactly, that is, but I think it's more than ArkAngel OWN is just being thirsty for skills in this
they
game.
just want good KDAs.
Yeah, so I think they're just pumping up their KDA count. Not really a bad choice to do, but if they overextend, keep in mind it's only like a 5k gold lead on their way. White Rascals can just easily catch up if they have the team fights their way, but Chalk goes on CKTD, not really finding the kill. Kinda unfortunate for them. Kenzu gets baked off, doesn't really put that ultimate to use. And Rek just runs up for his life, can't really put that burst down.
Alright, Carry did try to free hit there, but he was, I guess, too far from his teammates. So here we go, here at the bot lane. These two are trying to defend, and ArkAngel OWN decides to disengage for now.
Yeah, ArkAngel OWN is just infesting this bottom lane as they cleared the way for the level 1 Lord. This should be an easy turret pickup on the bottom lane as White Rascals just tuck themselves away in the safety of their main base. Not exactly a smart play on their part, but they're desperately clinging onto their lives. And Rek gets picked up.
Look at the amount of burst that Harley and that Gushin have.
Double kill.
Yeah, ArkAngel OWN is just laying down the ownage with all their high damage dealing skills here as they just steamroll. They will be waltzing into the main phase. It looks like the map control is now totally
Maniac!
under ArkAngel OWN, the Maniac, going to the way of
Yep,
CKTD.
a maniac for CKTD. The death timers are actually really high. This is gonna be the first win for this series. First win goes to ArkAngel OWN. What a nice game to start this series.
Victory!
So what do you think happened there? What did ArkAngel OWN do to have that advantage? What was White Rascals lacking?
So ArkAngel OWN, from the start, they drafted correctly here. They drafted not greedily, so they still respected their opponent. They didn't really go all in mage or all in tank. They still,
Imagine if they did though. That's gonna be weird.
So they had a plan. Let's just play this normally, and the way they just stick to their plan, they were really confident all throughout. And White Rascals just didn't manage to catch up. They didn't. Really managed to just shoot back, counterattack, and they got picked off one by one really easily.
Yes, that's true. And another thing I actually think ArkAngel did was they managed to shut down the carry and the Lancelot. On the other side of the spectrum, there are three main damage dealers, namely Harley, Martis, and Gushan got the stuff that they need. A 5-2, a 5-0, and 11-1.
Yeah, all those easy pickups on their way. It's not really, you don't want to give a Gushan nor a Harley even a Martis, those early kills without picking them off, like uncontested farming. It's like they farmed the heroes already of White Rascals, and all those lords and turtles are also almost uncontested. And Kenzu, all those hurricane dances, if you notice how he utilizes ultimate, it's not for initiation, it's not for ultimate, it's only for responding to the attacks of Ownage.
Lemot on Harley was a huge help when it comes to the burst as well, and Carbonara on that Lolita was just amazing. He was able to support the group as much as he can. Did he pop the ult? Did he pop the ult? I haven't seen him pop the ult actually, but he did a good job shielding though.
Yeah, blasts were hammered down this game. But it's just shows how skillful Ownage is, as they brought a lot to the table with the skill level of Lemot, CKTD, and Carbonara. And this POW player is looking really good. He's looking really hot on that Martis.
Of course. And during that last clash, the moment 4 members from White Rascals went down, with Nareth the only one left alive, he actually went further away from the base. So he was pretty much I guess a free kill for ArkAngel OWN because they were just chasing him down. And let me tell you, a Gushan and the Harley chasing after you is scary.
Yeah, and this CKDD, 11-1-6 on Gushan. Even 42k on damage dealt. This one scary looking Gushan. But that is kind of unfortunate because they have no choice but to either just steal the pick or counter it. It's both hard. Remember, White Rascals is playing on the red side. They are forced to ban out the Claw or the Harriet. I'm kind of excited actually if the Harriet would be managed to be picked in the series.
Hopefully. I remember a Harriet being picked up in a different tournament, and he was really useful. So it goes hand in hand. If you don't want that much of advantage, ban it out. But if you think you guys can get it, at least try and take the risk.
Yeah, and of course, White Rascals not really known for a couple of comfort picks that they have. They have been really experimenting much with their drafts. So ArkAngel OWN, it didn't really factor into their draft. Like, okay, so we don't know what to draft against them, then let's just play our game.
Why not just go with our comfort picks? So what do you think should White Rascals do for Game 2? Should they try and outdraft ArkAngel? Should they try to get the heroes that they kind of know ArkAngel OWN members are comfortable with?
So 4 weeks into the MPLs, they should have already have an idea on how to play correctly as a team. So hopefully they manage to just get that correct amount of groove that they need, that they're looking for. They didn't really look that bad in the first game, but it was more on ArkAngel OWN just dictating the entire pace from the start to finish.
Yes.
So it's more like White Rascals, they have to play more confidently. They need to have a better reads on their opponents. It's just like they're playing individually, not really as a team. So
That's actually true because White Rascals was only dancing to ArkAngel OWN's tempo. And they're just the ones who usually adjust whether they were the ones that initiated the fight or whether ArkAngel was the one who actually initiated the fight. So I think another thing that they could do is try to get a draft that has an early game advantage but can sustain up until 15 to 17 minutes into the game.
yeah, so game number 2, they will have the priority in terms of draft, so they have more freedom when it comes to bans. At the same time, they will get the first pick.
Yes.
But their opponents, ArkAngel OWN, they will have the luxury of the second and third consecutive picks, so that's something that will also work against White Rascals, maybe.
Well, let's just wait and see. But I'm personally excited because ArkAngel does have the momentum. I remember something. You mentioned something about White Rascals needing to play more confidently. I highly agree on that. It's true that they could be struggling. They may want to play it safe just so they can have points, but there's nothing wrong with trying to play your mind off.
Yeah.
Maybe it actually work for their favor.
Yeah, they need to, I think, I'm not sure if they're panicking, but they need to like commit less mistakes, commit less heroes going out alone, especially after ArkAngel OWN has been exploiting that fact.
Alrighty, but I think that the
Your
carry,
team is
or
banned.
they ban it out because they know they have a different hero in mind.
Yeah, there's no notable carry spammer maybe. This is the first time I saw Pao play actually. So aside from
Your
Pao, it's
team
only
is
Lembot making
banning.
use of the carry. So that's a questionable ban for me, for White Rascals. So now we're seeing the default Harith ban and the Claude ban as well.
Alright, so
Your team
usually
is
the red
picking.
side bans out Harith and Claude. Do you see the connection here, the tempo? They usually just ban these two out because again, these two are powerful. We all know that. Even at our rank games, they get
Yeah.
banned out. Let's wait and see for White Rascals first pick. Do you have any guesses? Are they gonna try and get Cushion or a hover and grab?
Okay, so Grok will be locked in.
Your
One of the
team
safest
is
pick in the
picking.
game. So now they have this tank and CC potential on their way.
Let's see. Are we gonna see a Choin and a Kai? Maybe, like these two work really well together, right? But if they could get Kaya as well, Kaya is gonna be really useful and essential, I guess, for ArkAngel OWN. Looking at Kaya's playset to their aggressiveness.
Oh, they're now they approach this two picks considered from both sides of the spectrum. So Harley will be the damage dealer, and I think they will be locking the show. No questions asked.
I think they will.
It will be a show.
He could be a full tank or a half tank and half damage dealer.
Your team
And
is
that's
picking.
the wonder of Cho.
Yeah, so Cho is actually one of the good responses to a Grok because you can just kick him away from the wall. And now we're seeing a meta game pick finally from White Rascals. Are they going to lock both of these in? Gushan gets locked in. Will it be an Alice? It would be unwise to pass this up.
Yep, that is true. And they did lock in. So Alice, Cushion,
Your
so far
team
for
is
White
picking.
Rascals. I like where this draft is going.
Yeah, we're now actually we're seeing a more solid draft from White Rascals now. It's like up to par with the rest of the games we've seen so far tonight. And this might be one interesting pick on ArkAngel OWN.
Is this just a hover on Estes or are they actually gonna pick this? Let's wait. Alright,
Yeah,
they were just pulling our leg. That was just a hover and now they're eyeing this Thamus and this Sakai. Thamus, I love how Thamus can zone out the enemies. Maybe that's for Goshen. Alice can just orb out whenever she wants to. So Thamus'
Your
range
team
and
is
tankiness
picking.
can be really useful because they have a Harley that's quite soft and quite squishy. So he needs to be in a safe spot.
Yeah, the same spot is what a Harley needs, and that's what the Akai Cho and Thamus gives. So this actually swings the favor of initiation towards ArkAngel OWN. Like White Rascals is virtually locked out from trying to do something crazy to the lineup of OWN. So it will be really interesting where they will steer this draft towards. And will they be going for a Hayabusa again? In the previous game, it didn't really do much, and they did lock it in.
Your
Hayabusa and
team
Beleric
is picking.
will be the choices.
Well, that it's kind of unusual, but let's see. I think they can make it work. Let's wait for ArkAngel OWN's last pick, I'm honestly curious. This, of course, gonna be a damage dealer.
Yeah, the damage dealer is what they severely lacking right now.
Unless they wanna go with the Lolita, you know.
Yeah, I don't think so. But yeah, I'm guessing this is a
Yeah.
Lancelot or a Marcus even.
Dog.
Oh, the
They
time is
want
running
to.
out. Oh,
Oh,
Lancelot it
Lancelot,
is.
you got it right. So Harley and Lancelot for ArkAngel Ownage against a. Huh. Well, there's 3 of them, so I'm just gonna say Alice, Hayabusa, and Aggression. Whichever of these 2 manages to go online faster than the other one.
Yeah, but White Rascals managed to pick up 2 of the most tankiest heroes in the game. Belleric though, his tanky potential is reliant on the timings. Archangel Ownage, they have the safer approach to this game. They can just play normally again. This Hayabusa pick, I'm not really liking it because in the previous game it didn't really impress.
Yes.
But maybe Rick has managed to get his groove.
Yeah, maybe they know that they can snowball the Hayabusa, and now that they have a more stable, more tanky front line and quite a better draft, as I may add, maybe Hayabusa can have another chance.
But Hayabusa isn't a hero that you want to stay behind enemy
Yeah,
behind lines exactly. Like you want Hayabusa to be on the forefront after the enemy has been softened up by your teammates. So something that's that's why I don't.
You're still curious.
I don't like Hayabusa.
You just want to see what's gonna happen in this game to see. Well, maybe Nareth could actually use the Hayabusa again, but let's see if it's gonna be the same person or it's gonna be passed on to someone else. But again, guys, you're watching MPL Season 2. This is the last series for today. Game 2, ArkAngel up on 1 game. Do share the stream, tell your friends, and like what he's been saying earlier, if you manage to watch for 5 minutes, but come on, don't stay for just 5 minutes and enjoy the entire stream. You have a chance of getting a skin. Just wait for that. The box thingy when actually I had one earlier. The notification pops at the top of your screen, and you're going to have to tap receive or allow, I guess, and from there you can open the gift at your ML account. But before that actually happens, make sure that your account is binded on Facebook.
Yeah, don't forget that tiny little detail. You might
Yeah.
just be spamming on that claim button, but not
Hashtag
really
claim.
Yeah, hashtag claim. So once again, this is MPL Season 2 Road to the Nationals. This is supported by, of course, our legendary sponsor, Smart. And we're heading to game number 2. ArkAngel Ownage leads the series 1-0.
You said that you don't want Hayabusa, but when it comes to the composition, do you prefer ArkAngel or you like the White Rascals now?
ArkAngel Ownage still.
Still,
Because,
alright.
Hayabusa doesn't have. I haven't seen a Hayabusa bursting down. Like, I was hoping that they would have picked a Martis or a Carry.
Smash
maybe.
them.
Both being better choices
All
for me
troops
personally.
deployed.
But here we go. The game has started.
Alright, so I guess going back to what you said earlier, ArkAngel Ownage, I guess Lusty is gonna be the one that's gonna do the initiates with CKTD on the follow-up, and I guess Harley Carbonara is just gonna free it. Hey, by the way, Carbonara's on
Finally.
Harley now. We've been waiting for this since game 1.
Yeah, because Carbonara is the current record holder for highest damage average on all games in MPL, so
Oh.
it's kind of dangerous leaving the Harley to him. So we will be expecting a lot of kills coming from his way.
Of course. This map is gonna be his entire battlefield. I'm not sure if they're gonna opt to more fights, less what do you call this? Obligations and objectives for their early game. But if they do, I guess that's gonna be really useful for them and a bit bad for White Rascals.
Yeah, this is the thing that I dislike with the draft of White Rascals, that they have no room to. So ArkAngel, they have all these initiations. We're seeing one right now. Ironically, it's White Rascals doing initiation on POW, but the Thamos can just easily run away from there. The first blood, Carbonara has started his rampage.
Alright, here we go. First good to Carbonara, and let's see if that's gonna improve or the amount of kills gonna go higher. But you were right actually. They did try to take down POW on this Thamos, but he's just too tanky. So
Yeah.
what are we gonna do with that?
So they need to decide better on which lanes to to gank here. Thanos not really the wise one.
Turtle resurrecting
They need to actually expect where ArkAngel OWN is moving towards. So like this one, so Kentu just reacting to what they're seeing. So this is something that Carbonara will be exploiting. So now Lusty joins the fight. They're trying to find a kill here, but White Rascals just spreads away from the threat.
Yeah, he's just chilling and going all around. What White Rascals could do though is try to shut down Carbonara or CKTD. From there, they can farm, they can keep the resources up. But here we go. Is Kenzo gonna get box in again? He does get boxed in. Now Carbonara just free hitting, and Lancelot managed to take down this Kenzo.
Yeah, that was a careless movement from Kenzo there. That he overextended there. He didn't really realize that there's like at least three heroes in that jungle.
And he
Of
usually
course,
gets
if you're on
boxed
a Grok, you want to maximize the potential you have with your passive by sticking to the walls. But you have to go there with a teammate at least. He went there alone, something that they need to improve upon.
Yes, that is true. Grok can actually be quite slow, so if he gets boxed in, that's nada. Alright, Knight being targeted here, and another kill for this Lancelot.
Wow, the 1-2 punch from Lusty and CKTD. Just
Look
I
how
will kick,
fast that
I will
was.
kick the enemy towards you. You finish it off.
Yep. I deliver to you, you accept, and then you get the kill.
Yeah, CKTD already ramping up with the kills. Already ahead Carbonara by one. So 3 kills posted already on ArkAngel OWN. Not looking really good for White Rascals.
Objectives wise though, they're still nada, but ArkAngel is up on with TK. Yeah, TK gold.
Yeah, something on the 3-minute mark. So it's like they have 1k gold advantage per minute. A pace that you won't want to be on the other side.
Yep.
So White Rascals, they need to
Is
decide
he gonna eye
better.
this knife? I think he is. Or okay, no, didn't.
they-
He was a tank. He just wanna lurk.
Yeah, just lurking, just waiting for the Lancelot to just finish the farm in the jungle. So now Nath spots Lembot. Lembot he might be retreating as Kenzu just follows him towards the turret. He might overextend. CKDD's back in the middle lane. But pow! Just finishing off Reg in the bottom lane. The poor Hayabusa.
Whoa, actually Thamus being able to slay Hayabusa is unusual because even though his range is actually really huge, but we all know that Hayabusa can escape quickly.
Yeah,
So
he
I
was
gue-
backed up by Lusty on the show. So now Lusty will manage to just shoot off that turret range. Shock. And Ken's not really finding anything. And Snow is about to fall! Carbonara still alive. He will be looking to pick up on this. Just space escapes. Just deciding better here. He doesn't want to risk death.
Alrighty, that was a nice escape from Carbonara right there. Manages to get away by the skin of his teeth. Oh, this choke gets boxed in, and that is another kill for ArkAngel OWN. They're just on a roll right now. Will they secure another kill? And they just did.
Yeah, Thorn rolls from CKDD just finishing off and cleans that up. And we're seeing maybe a repeat of game number 1 where ArkAngel OWN just invades the jungle and finds kill after kill. With White Rascals lined up, they need to play optimal here.
Yep, they're not even letting White Rascals get any kill.
Oh,
whoop,
CKDD
they're both
will
low on
fall.
health.
Flowing blood. Chalk goes for the vines. Misses CKDD barely, but Chalk can just hit. Kenzu just winds up and finishes off Nate. Oh.
Revenge kill was actually quite fast there on Carbonara. But here,
Lembot.
are they gonna contest this? I think they should, but Carbonara roughly on full health now. He's not though. He was actually eyeing the turtle earlier.
Yeah, White Rascals can actually contest it, so ArkAngel OWN will be conceding that for now. They will be revisiting that really soon though. But the Lord will be appearing just in a couple of moments, so this turtle will not be long for this world. Carbonara has no deaths yet, so that's something that he has over CKTD. I think they're having a contest.
Alright, he tries to hit Carbonara, but Carbonara manages to get away. He's now backed up with 2 other members, Lembot and Lusty. Lembot just trying to make sure that no one's gonna try and contest the turtle. So far, so good for them, but here comes Kenzo. Is he gonna jump in? Is he gonna try and get this turtle? I think they will.
White Rascals will be trying to contest as Kenzu will be falling down. His drop movement has not been the real optimal here. Like he has been going in alone for the past few team fights. So now White Rascals will be trying to mow down on Lusty. But Joe being tanky.
Alright, Cho is actually really tanky. I guess one of the sad things about Kenzo is whenever he jumps in or whenever he gets ganked, his teammates are away from him, so no one can actually be there to do the response.
Oh wow, Pao is looking for a solo kill on Snow here, and I think he can actually pull up a double kill even. Wreck on the run. The Hayabusa will fall to the hands of the Thamus.
Wow. You know what? This Pao on Thamus is really good. I'm gonna keep my eye on him. Here though, at the mid lane, another easy kill for Carbonara. Chalk trying to get
Oh,
away, but
Pao.
again he gets boxed in. So much heals are actually being used on him, and that was a quick kill for ArkAngel OWN.
Wow, Pao just being on point in the previous game. He was the Martis that has been solo killing after solo killing.
And now on Thamos, he is still solo killing.
Yeah, this is something that White Rascals need to really look out for. They cannot underestimate Pao. And Pao is, I think, one of the best players right now tonight. Lemma just charges in. Rek goes in the red, but Kenzu, he goes for the defend. And ArkAngel just managed to retreat for now, but now CKTD.
Alright, still trying to get away. Both of them are actually really low on health, but Lembot here to the rescue. Carbonara trying to free hit, and now blue team under the threat, but red team doesn't care. ArkAngel still gonna go. Carbonara is actually really confident, but he thought that his teammates aren't near him, so he backed away and just decided to take down the turret.
Yeah, even though they were in lethal range of dying, they were still
didn't care.
managed to just rotate around. They just shave the damage off from Right Rascals, and now Pao. Here's the thing with Hayabusa, you can predict where he will be blinking out towards, and that's how ArkAngel OWN duo of Pao CKTD just easily picks off Rek.
You were right about Hayabusa quite easy to predict where he's gonna go.
Yeah, you just have to just reduce his choice to where he can blink. He can just spot the shadows. Just wait for him there. And then Kenzu falling to CKTD and triple kill on the Lancelot. Not a really good way if you're playing against it.
Alright, that kick right there was actually really good, and the follow-up from ArkAngel just boxing everyone in, and CKTD getting the targets that he needs. An easy triple kill right there, and now it's gonna be an easy Lord, uncontested, given that White Rascals, some of them are still spawning, and some of them are quite far into the Lord area.
Oh, Snow has to be careful. He's surrounded already by ArkAngel OWN.
Oops.
Alice has a lot of escape potential though, but he doesn't have that stat needed. He's only level 9. But Snow, he's looking to be endangered. There's flowing blood out of there, but he's still going to be met by CKTD and Lusty, and that will be it for his lifespan.
Did you see how much damage CKTD actually got?
Yeah, like that was a lot, but it was unfortunate for the Alice player that he just lost the ground that he can run on. So now, White Rascals will be desperately defending this middle lane here, and ArkAngel OWN is just going to waltz in there, pick up the kills, and Chop, the tank of ArkAngel, just easily dies there, and followed by CKTD picking up Kenzu. 3 deaths on the way up with White Rascals.
But ArkAngel is still gonna be at it. Nara tries to go in, but there were team members along with Lord who did not want to risk that, and now ArkAngel is knocking onto the enemy's base, tries to go in, but Mamba's out. Snow though here in the middle, life stealing as much as he can, but I actually thought he was gonna die, but manages to escape with just the skin of his teeth.
Yeah, he managed to desperately defend, just trying to salvage what there's a Kenzu he will be looking for, but Lambo just jumps in with a 1,000-pounder. He is looking really durable here as Pao is just in the backside waiting, ready to back up.
A level 13 Thamos, a level 13 Lance, and a level 13 Harley is something you don't want to see if you're White Rascals right now.
Yeah, especially when your highest level is only level 10, which is your Alcin and Hayabusa, and your supports just lagging far behind the levels of your opponents.
Alright, so a 19k gold lead for ArkAngel OWN and a 20 kill lead. Turrets though, yeah, they're still they're still quite ahead compared to White Rascals.
All initiation from Lembot here just isolates nades away, and that's a really quick kill on a good shot. And Rek on his Hayabusa just falling down really easily. Chop as well. Nobody remains strong for the White Rascals, and Alice just holds on to dear life as all 5 on White Rascals fall down to the superiority of the gameplay shown by ArkAngel.
Alright, and just like game 1, ArkAngel OWN finishes this game with the wipeout. A clean one at that. So, okay, that was actually really good. White Rascals tried to go up against ArkAngel. They did try to get the farm and stuff, but it just so happens that Pao was really tanky. He got the stuff that he needs, and you can't forget that CKTD on that Lancelot. He was really good. 11-1 again.
11-1 on CKTD, 8-1 on Carbonara, and the Thamos 6-0. Like, these 3 just went around the map, find kill after kill, with the backup of both Lembot and Lusty. So it is like they didn't actually move as 5 the entire game. They were just like picking for picking apples from a tree.
Yes, that is true. I actually saw that Snow wasn't able to actually snowball. Pun totally not intended, but if you're an Alice and you experience that, it's gonna be quite difficult for you, given that we know how tanky and powerful Alice can be if she gets the resources that she needs.
Yeah, and that's what got denied from the Alice player.
Yes.
Unfortunately, Snow didn't just find the time. So we just saw how he was just checked by Carbonara. Carbonara realizing the potential of an Alice pick, just goes for the dive. I will kill before you even manage to ramp up.
Yes,
And
that's true.
we are seeing more of the pick-off movements from ArkAngel OWN. You see almost 2 of them died there. And Kenzo just not finding those kills of cleanup. And that's just simply disastrous for White Rascals.
And sadly, like game 1, White Rascals was just playing onto ArkAngel OWN's tempo, which always drives them up to a corner. Also, I honestly thought that Cho will be half tank, half damage dealer, but I was wrong. Thamos was the one who went
Yeah.
half tank, half damage dealer, which was really useful for ArkAngel. And again, he got the stuff that he needs.
Yeah, Cho went all in on that initiation potential, just going for the kick towards the Lancelot. I will kick your opponent for you and just finish him off. So that was something that White Rascals have to learn on in their past games. So remember, they are still yet to pick up a series win. So far, they only have one game win towards their name.
Yes.
So they only have one more series left. So that's something that they have to make it count. They're at the brink of elimination.
Yep. They need to go all in to their last series, or they may have to suffer the sad consequences. But
Yeah.
that has been the last game, and of course,
Yeah.
our MVP for this game is CKTD on that Lancelot.
See-
Damage dealt, man, roughly 56,000.
Yeah, that's only how low is that when compared. That's actually 4K above the average of Carbonara. So let's see if this will pull
Ooh.
CKTD's stats upwards to Carbonara's throne of being the biggest damage dealer in the season. CKTD being the baller that he is on that Lancelot. We didn't get to exactly see this with Zapnu in Execration, but right now we just saw a monstrous performance from a Lancelot.
Of course, let's wait and see let's wait and check those stats after this. But again, guys, that has been our last series, last game for this MPL
Second
season
to the
2.
last.
Second to the last. Yeah, second to the last for today. And you know what? I'm actually really amazed. That was a nice game, a quick 2-0
Yeah.
indeed for ArkAngel OWN.
But don't go away. The next series is looking to be really promising. It's going to be Cignal Ultra versus Bren Esports.
I'm pretty sure even you is looking forward to this.
So the winner of this will surely, will they be able to contest? Yes,
They can.
the team. Actually, if Cignal Ultra gets a 2-0 here, they will only just be tied with Bren. But Bren, they just managed just to get one win. They will be tied with Execration. But if they get the 2-0 win or 2-1 win, they will overtake and take that #1 spot.
Neglecting all the draft and the stats for now, Cignal Ultra versus Bren, who do you think has the good chances of winning?
It's pretty dead even. Bren Esports is just pulling ahead slightly. All of them are record holders actually. Like the killing potential is actually on the way towards Bren Esports, while the support potential is on Cignal Ultra. So it will be a battle of wit here.
All right, a battle of wits indeed. Well, again, guys, we will be right back. So don't touch that browser and wait for the last series to actually pop onto this live stream.
Prince unhesitatingly took the Holy Spear and fought against the enemies. Finally, through countless wars, Minsitar wiped out all the invaders and rebelling enemies.
Mahapura was at peace again. Prince Minsitar was deeply loved by the people and ascended the throne. He became the next king of Mahapura.
Minsitar brought revolution and innovation to his kingdom. Soon later, Mahapura became a prosperous kingdom again.
Download for free Mobile Legends Bang Bang.
Hi everyone, welcome to another episode of Hero Spotlight. Today we will introduce to you a new hero.
Minsitar.
The courageous warrior
Minsitar.
is the king of the Maharpura. With the holy spear inherited from his father, he could pull any enemy to himself at his will. What is the most fearsome aspect of this hero is that he can summon 4 royal guards to fight at his side. In a word, this hero is a fighter that could summon guards to fight alongside him and stop enemies from escaping using directional blink skills. First skill,
Min Sithar.
stabs forward with the Spear of Glory, dealing physical damage to all enemies along the way. When pulling back the spear, he will also pull the first enemy towards himself, dealing physical damage and knocks them back afterwards. Try to better use this skill and pull back the backline heroes who are easy to slay even when they're hiding behind the tanks. Second skill,
Min Sithar awakens the strength of the golden shield to obtain a shield effect.
and immediately increases movement speed. Meanwhile, he releases the power within the golden shield forward. The power explodes upon hitting the first enemy unit and deals physical damage to all enemies in the area. The first enemy will be stunned for several seconds and the other enemies will be knocked back. The range of the skill is not too wide, so better use it together with his first skill. And by doing so, the hit rate will be increased. Ultimate.
Min Sithar.
Charges a short distance forward and calls 4 royal guards to form a shield and fight together with him. Each attack of royal guards deals physical damage. When staying in the area,
Min Sithar.
increases his physical and magic defenses. Enemies within the field reduce movement speed and cannot use directional blink skills. The royal guards cannot move, but they'll attack enemies in the field first. This effect is a nightmare to those who heavily use blink skills. Try to use
Min Sithar.
first skill, pull enemies back, and use his skill to finish them off. Passive.
Min Sithar.
Inspires the whole team. Whenever teammates slay enemy heroes, he obtains extra gold. Whenever
Min Sithar.
himself slays enemies, all the teammates obtain extra gold. With this passive, Ministar can perform more ganks with his teammates without the worry of his farming falling behind. We recommend these 3 sets of equipment items.
Min Sithar.
Ultimate will expose him to the enemies, so being more tanky is highly recommended. Endless Battle and Thunderbelt increase the damage of his first and second skills, as well as survivability. In terms of emblems, we recommend the Fighter set, which consists of Bravery, Invasion, and Unbending Will. It focuses more on attack performance, which will also grant
Min Sithar.
the possibility of killing an enemy with combo. For his battle spells, we recommend Flicker. Not only does it increase Min Sithar's mobility, but also his flexibility in battle. Therefore, Flicker is practical for both attacking and withdrawing.
Min Sithar.
Used his ultimate and dashed into the enemies, for the effect that their blink skills are restricted in the area by
Min Sithar.
They had no way but running away. Tigreal dashed in and used his ultimate. He pulled all the enemies together. What a perfect combo. Enemies got wiped out. The victory was with
Min Sithar. Download for free. Mobile Legends Bang Bang.
Legendary! Double kill! Chase me! Legendary!
Muscle of iron, bones of steel. No pain, no gain. Muscle of iron, bones of steel. muscle of iron. Legends never surrender.
Godlike.
Download for free Mobile Legends Bang Bang.
Thought to miss you, another ticket.
Legendary. Our inhibitor turret is under attack. Legendary. You have slain an enemy. Kill.
Download for free Mobile Legends Bang Bang.
Once upon a time, Maharpura was a rich and prosperous kingdom with great historical position. Minsitar was the prince of Maharpura. Young as he might be to serve in the forces, he was respected with his remarkable achievements and was called one of the 4 great generals of Maharpura. But heroes could never avoid falling for beauties. Minsitar met up with a beautiful girl on the lakeside of the palace, and soon later they fell in love with each other.
However, his father, the king, knew about it very quickly. Minsitar begged and begged, but still his father strongly stood against his love. Tense was the atmosphere when the king held the holy spear towards his son. Minsitar's father couldn't be more furious. Minsitar realized his decision could not be changed, and the consequence had already been beyond control. He was driven out of the palace.
Years flew by, and the king got serious disease with few days left. The palace was covered in sadness and panic. Rebel and unrest seized the chance, and the whole palace fell into chaos.
Foreign forces started their invasion upon hearing the death of the king. Poor Maharpura was under will of its enemies and soon became devastated.
A messenger managed to escape quietly and found Minsitar, the former prince. He told Minsitar that the king had long ago forgiven him, and now Maharpura was in great crisis. The prince should take the holy spear and save the kingdom and his people. Prince unhesitatingly took the holy spear and fought against the enemies. Finally, through countless wars, Minsitar wiped out all the invaders and rebelling enemies.
Maharpura was at peace again. Prince Minsitar was deeply loved by the people and ascended the throne. He became the next king of Maharpura.
Minsitar brought revolution and innovation to his kingdom. Soon later, Maharpura became a prosperous kingdom again.
Hi everyone, welcome to another episode of Hero Spotlight. Today we will introduce to you a new hero.
Min Sithar.
The courageous warrior
Min Sithar
is the king of the Maharpura. With the holy spear inherited from his father, he could pull any enemy to himself at his will. What is the most fearsome aspect of this hero is that he can summon 4 royal guards to fight at his side. In a word, this hero is a fighter that could summon guards to fight alongside him and stop enemies from escaping using directional blink skills. First skill,
Min Sithar.
stabs forward with the Spear of Glory, dealing physical damage to all enemies along the way. When pulling back the spear, he will also pull the first enemy towards himself, dealing physical damage and knocks them back afterwards. Try to better use this skill and pull back the backline heroes who are easy to slay, even when they're hiding behind the tanks. Second skill,
Min Sithar awakens the strength of the golden shield to obtain a shield effect.
and immediately increases movement speed. Meanwhile, he releases the power within the golden shield forward. The power explodes upon hitting the first enemy unit, and deals physical damage to all enemies in the area. The first enemy will be stunned for several seconds, and the other enemies will be knocked back. The range of the skill is not too wide, so better use it together with his first skill. And by doing so, the hit rate will be increased.
Legendary.
Ultimate
Min Sithar.
charges a short distance forward and calls 4 royal guards to form a shield and fight together with him. Each attack of royal guards deals physical damage. When staying in the area,
Min Sithar.
increases his physical and magic defenses. Enemies within the field reduce movement speed and cannot use directional blink skills. The royal guards cannot move, but they'll attack enemies in the field first. This effect is a nightmare to those who heavily use blink skills. Try to use
Min Sithar.
first skill, pull enemies back, and use his skill to finish them off. Passive
Min Sithar.
inspires the whole team. Whenever teammates slay enemy heroes, he obtains extra gold. Whenever
Min Sithar.
himself slays enemies, all the teammates obtain extra gold. With this passive, Ministar can perform more ganks with his teammates without the worry of his farming falling behind. We recommend these 3 sets of equipment items.
Min Sithar.
Ultimate will expose him to the enemies, so being more tanky is highly recommended. Endless Battle and Thunderbelt increase the damage of his first and second skills, as well as survivability. In terms of emblems, we recommend the Fighter set, which consists of Bravery, Invasion, and Unbending Will. It focuses more on attack performance, which will also grant
Min Sithar.
the possibility of killing an enemy with combo. For his battle spells, we recommend Flicker. Not only does it increase Min Sithar's mobility, but also his flexibility in battle. Therefore, Flicker is practical for both attacking and withdrawing.
Min Sithar.
Used his ultimate and dashed into the enemies, for the effect that their blink skills are restricted in the area by
Min Sithar.
They had no way but running away. Tigreal dashed in and used his ultimate. He pulled all the enemies together. What a perfect combo. Enemies got wiped out. The victory was with
Min Sithar.
Wiped out.
Download for free. Mobile Legends Bang Bang.
Legendary. Double kill. Chase me. Legendary.
Muscle of iron, bones of steel. No pain, no gain. Surrender. muscle of iron, bones of steel. Muscle of iron, legends never surrender.
Godlike.
Download for free Mobile Legends Bang Bang.
If that's miss you, another ticket.
Shogyo Mogyo. Legendary. Our inhibitor turret is under attack. Shogyo Mogyo. Legendary. Shogyo Mogyo. You have slain an enemy. Double kill.
Download for free Mobile Legends Bang Bang.
Once upon a time, Maharpura was a rich and prosperous kingdom with great historical position. Minsithar was the prince of Maharpura. Young as he might be to serve in the forces, he was respected with his remarkable achievements and was called one of the 4 great generals of Maharpura. But heroes could never avoid falling for beauties. Minsithar met up with a beautiful girl on the lakeside of the palace, and soon later they fell in love with each other.
However, his father, the king, knew about it very quickly. Minsithar begged and begged, but still his father strongly stood against his love. Tense was the atmosphere when the king held the holy spear towards his son. Minsithar's father couldn't be more furious. Minsithar realized his decision could not be changed, and the consequence had already been beyond control. He was driven out of the palace.
The last series for tonight, we're back in the Mobile Legends Bang Bang Professional League Season 2. Road to the Nationals brought to you by our legendary sponsor, Smart. Let's look at the standings so far.
And leading the leaderboards is Execration, just fresh off their win against Aether main. But right now, it's going to be a battle on who will be catching really close to Execration. It's going to be Bren Esports versus Cignal Ultra, a much-awaited match for sure.
Yep, because if Bren can actually, sorry, Cignal Ultra can come out with a win here, it's going to be big. We got D, Daisenia, Eson, Few, Tets, and Yaku on Cignal Ultra. Again, this is a team currently in third place with 12 points. If they can win 3-0, they tie it up with Bren. If they don't, if they give Bren 3-0, they're gonna get ahead on it.
Yeah, so
Execration.
this is one of the most crucial matches in the group stages of MPL Season 2. So now we're seeing Bren Esports, of course, 666, Coco, Payne, Rebo, Hayes, and Yuji. All the players of the first 5 is a solid player. Of course, that's the same for Cignal Ultra as well. So this will be truly one of the best matches that you will witness this season.
Yeah, I think so too. Bren Esports definitely looking a lot more promising here. Of course, we cannot count out Cignal just yet. This is a team that has played non-stop to reach where they are, from being, considered like bottom tier to being one of the best. They have done the climb as well as anyone could hope for, and they are on the brink of being top 2, tied for top 2 here. Of course, Execration still very strong on the points right now, and I won't be surprised if Bren Esports also just want to put him down a peg.
Yeah, so but the thing is differences in terms of pathways. Execration managed to climb up to that ranking in a more shaky manner. They had a standing of 4-3, but on the other hand, we have both Bren Esports and Cignal Ultra standing strong in 5 wins apiece. The only difference is Bren has only 1 loss, which is against Finesse Solid.
That's right. And Finesse Solid, of course, we know where they are right now. It's going to be a battle of the top 3 people here. And you know what? The season is nearing its close. I still not super convinced that Bren is still on this top of standings right now, because you know what, Execration is just so strong as well. Bren, of course, has a lot to prove today that they are still on the top by doing so, beating out Execration. Can they do that though? Again, they have a lot more games left to play, a lot more room to get more points, and all of them, obviously, will be secured for the finals. It's just maybe a matter of bragging rights at this point.
Yeah, but right now the higher seed is actually a big factor when it comes to the playoffs. So I don't think any of these 2 teams will be pulling any punches. So they will be bringing out all the A game. They will treat this actually as the finals. Because we remember, like, these 2 teams has clashed 2 times in 2 finals. The first one was in the first season of MPL. They were known as Aether Main and Digital Devils back then, and that was the same case for the MSC, the Mobile Legends C Championship. So this one match, this will be no different on how these 2 teams will be treating it.
That's right. And again, they have come a long way from being one of the bottom tier seeds in MPL Season 1. They are now one of the top dogs. Cignal Ultra, they're roaring for more right now. They go off for the first draft of this last match for today. It is going to be very awesome to see. Again, Alice being removed. That's a bit weird, because you know what? Cignal Ultra is a team that usually likes to play around this, and I might expect a little more ban here for Bren. If they don't, you know what? Few is gonna take it for sure.
Actually, Cignal Ultra favors the Kagura slightly over the Alice, so I think this is a ban that they actually like. They want to prevent an Alice pickup from the opponent, but it's the same case for Bren Esports. They're not really well known for that Alice pickup, which is kind of weird, seeing as they are the top 2 teams.
Yeah, and last a few days before this, actually, they were using it in a tournament. They actually were super strong on the Alice. I think Cignal Ultra kind of picked up on that. Of course, Liamore is not going to be allowed any sort of play. They took their while with thinking about that one.
Yeah, so both Claude and Liam are just suffering that ban phase, not getting away from that ban phase treatment. So that first pickup for Cignal Ultra will be the Cho. This will be going for D. This is D's Cho right there.
Absolutely. We got Cignal again, very powerful with the Cho, but you know what? Bren has managed to eke out bans against the Cho just because of how powerful Yellow Haze is on that one. So they're going to have to go ahead and steal that one out, since they do not want to afford a ban pick on. That one, so I like the mix up here for Cignal. Of course, that means Brock will be locked in. I won't be surprised if this Gushin also does, and it really
Your
will
team
be case.
is picking.
Apparently so. I really like that. Cignal Ultra is trying to fight off Bren, pick for pick.
Yeah, the mind games start immediately in this drafting space. Like all of these players are talented in their own right. D actually on his show is no joke. Like he is the #1 tank right now in this season, tanking at an average of 91,000 damage on a Cho.
Yeah.
That is a hard feat to achieve, as you have to time it correctly with a Cho. Like you have to nullify everything in that Chunpo. So that is something that D will be showcasing us tonight against Bren Esports. On the other side, we have the Grok will be picked up by either Payne or Hayes, both one of the best assist players right now. So the Grok, so give that best support hero to the best support players, you will be in for a time of your life.
Absolutely true. And again, get that carry in there for good measure, and have a lot of sustain and DPS here for Cignal. This is just how they like to play. Although, of course, on the other side, though, they have great control.
Your team
Pick up the
is
Kaya
picking.
as well as a Harley. And you know, Bren loves to play them some Harley.
Yeah, this will be the Harley. That's actually one of the heroes rarely picked up by both of these teams. Like, because both teams just seem to favor a Kagura over these more common picks. So that's actually something. Part of the mind games already going on. So now we're seeing the Kagura going to the way of Cignal Ultra.
And there
Your
it is,
team
locking
is
in for
picking.
the picks of Cignal will be the Kai and the Kagura. Pretty good focus there in terms of controlling. They will be able to maybe scale better compared to Bren, who I think will want to play as fast as possible. They have the Harley, they have the Gushin. They want to get out advantages against Cignal. The time is very early on when they have level 4s and when they got Deadly Magic and they can afford the Gushin to dive in and out.
Oh, but here comes the curveball coming in your way. If they're going to lock this Hanabi, this is one of the rare sites we get to see a Hanabi performance in a league as high as MPL.
I really like that because you know what, Hanabi was banned out for like a majority of the season. I think she just recently came out of banning, being permabanned because of a bug fix, and I really like that they picked it up right here and then. If you can take care of this Hanabi, you don't even. Ultra, as you can see from the pickings, don't really have that. They have great engage, great fighting potential, but they don't have that much durability in this composition.
Yeah, that's what they were lacking, and that's what Bren will be exploiting throughout in the entirety of this match. This is looking really scary actually for Cignal Ultra, but if they play their cards right at the right time and the right moment, they might just scuffle with a win.
Yeah, again, that's something that we're going to have to wait and see. That does come true. Guys, you're watching the Mobile Legends Bang Bang Professional League Season 2. Road to the Nationals, again, brought to you by our legendary sponsor, Smart. And please, keep sharing the stream. Hashtag be legendary. Oh, come on, put them on those social media posts. And don't forget, while you're watching, every 5 minutes, you will get a chance to get one of those esports boxes, those gift chests from Facebook. Check that out. Make sure your account is bound to your Facebook account while you're watching. You might just walk away with a permanent skin on one of those chests. Check that out.
Yeah, that's something that you won't miss. But anyway, we're approaching into the game. It is about to start, and I am just hyped as heck for this tonight. Like this is like a preview already of what will happen in the playoffs, and this will actually be a factor in dictating the metagame in both competitive and public games.
Yeah, a lot of these teams have been super innovators. When you can say, like, the one time Pain picked up Estes in the MPL, everyone was playing it on the ranked ladders. So they actually do inspire a lot of people. They get a lot of attention as well. And these guys, this is to some people, this feels like it's going to be the finals. But of course, Execration still pretty much up for contention here. They are top on the ladder right now, and that's for a good reason. Despite having, again, a shaky start there in the beginning of like week 1 of the regular season, they have been bouncing back from everything. They've been getting very impressive stats as well.
All right, so let's go to the game. And it has started.
It's going to be Cignal Ultra versus Bren Esports Game 1, ladies and gentlemen. Check out those very handsome player cams. These are the players that you will definitely be seeing on the Grand Finals this coming January. Of course, Cignal Ultra are also very are also the teams I really want to put my eyes on here, because again, season 1 we did not have that much expectations for their team, but you know what, once they've been acquired by Cignal, once they've rebranded, they definitely are managing to be one of the top teams, and that just happens to that just goes like it rises exponentially as the season in the grand finals. Will hold that thought though. Yako though could be dived in, but a lot of people from Bren here. Again, Bren has a very, very low HP tank right there. But apparently, they will bait up enough attention. First Blood going to be going over to the Bren Esports side. Going to be answered really quickly. Pain looks like he's in a lot of trouble. DO goes in with G Kundo. Too late on the follow-up. Daisenia will have to back off.
Yeah, this is an epic series already. It's only in the first minute mark, and things are starting to heat up right off the bat. So we already have one kill apiece from both teams. Like Yaku just falling to the hands of both Yuji, and it was Hayes falling to the hands of Yaku. So Yaku was involved heavily in that team fight. There was a slight follow-up in the top lane, but they didn't find that follow-up that they needed. So right now, both teams will try to stay stabilized, but I don't think any stable moment will be appearing in this game at any
Turtle
moment. Like both teams will want to grab the advantage they want right from the start.
Yeah, both teams have huge potentials on these marksmen. Few on the carry. We got Coco on the Hanabi. Again, very, very explosive later on. They want to get as much gold there as possible, and you know what? Bren is doing a much better job getting turtle in, get so much gold for their team. Yako gonna be boxed in. He doesn't have ultimate yet, can't really life steal that much as well. Gonna be taken down by Yuji in the end. 4 members of Bren gonna be committed for that fight.
Yeah, Bren looking really good in that first few teams. They got a turtle and they got a pick off on the Thamos. Thamos, we saw in the previous series, was one of the playmakers in the game being handled by Pau. But let's see if the Thamos can reenact that in the series. But Bren Esports, they will look into maintaining this lead early on. It's only about to be 3-minute mark and they are already ahead by 1k gold.
That's right. Again, that's a feat Bren usually does exhibit in a lot of their games. They usually manage to get advantage early on, and people start to question why. Like, where did they get the gold? That's just because of the rotations. Non-stop gold for every member. They do not waste a second of it, and that is exactly what a lot of the teams are emulating here. And I think they inspired a lot of that from the first season on, where everyone is just going for gold really fast. One's gonna be caught. Of course, the rest Cignal trying to go for follow-ups. It's very scary though, because Bren, they have a big advantage in terms of map control.
That was one of the most sustainable death balls I've seen at this early point in the game. Like, they just went into the turret, took it down, and just retreated and then through the safety. Like, all 4 heroes of Bren Esports took damage from that Kagura skill and in a key initiation, but it wasn't enough to defend the turret. So Bren Esports extending their lead into 2k territory.
Yeah, that's a lot of gold going over Bren Esports. Again, non-stop pressure is the name of the game. Yuji goes in for more. It's gonna be Rebo with a kill. More gold in favor of the red side squad. They're trying to answer up on the bottom lane, and Cignal do get a tower as a
Turtle resurrecting
that gold lead is just gonna escalate sooner and sooner once Bren does take out tower on top. They will have priority on turtle top.
Yeah, Bren just finding the turret destruction that they keep on finding, and as well as the hero pickoffs.
Yeah.
Bren Esports just looking really solid so far, and Cignal Ultra just showing a lot of weaknesses so far. He's just going for the front lines. Yaku, will he be diving in? No, he won't, as Cignal Ultra will be steering towards for a retreat. But no, Tetsu goes for the dive, didn't find anyone. Yuji, Coco, and Pain just sticks to the safety of the turret.
I like the non-stop pressure there. Again, deadly magic every time it's on cooldown. Rebo really likes himself some kills. Again, follow up by Yuji. He can probably proc that easily. That's the play they're running right now. Again, Lightning Trench is going to be completed on Rebo. Just adds to the pressure. I think that's going to be very important. Again, Cignal Ultra is starting to slowly lose up on map control here.
Yeah, Cignal Ultra needs to badly catch up to the pace of the game. So Bren Esports, so far, they are in a comfortable side of being the dictators here. So right now, they're just sweeping the jungle monsters. And while Cignal Ultra will be desperately trying to do the same here, Cignal Ultra, they have a lot of catching up to do at this point in time.
Absolutely. I think we got a lot of gold riding onto Few to at least get some assists, get some participation in fights. It's not happening anytime soon. All of the gold that Few is getting is basically from minion waves and jungle camps he's clearing out on the bottom side of the jungle. And you know what? Coco is also doing the same. So it's going to be a question of who can participate better, who can provide more influence in the coming team fights for both of these marksmen. I'm really looking forward to who can set up as well. Top lane seems to be gonna go to the side of Bren.
Yeah, Tets will be caught off guard here as 3 from Bren will be trying to gank his way, but Tets manages Hurricane Dance safely away from that with a backup prepared from Yako and Desenia. So what looks like Bren will be continuing the pressure on all lanes here, and Bren is just looking really solid so far in this game. Cignal Ultra, they have to think of something drastic. They have to break the momentum of Bren.
Yeah, there's gonna be a bit of a pause here. You're gonna have to check out what that's about. But so far, man, Bren Esports is not wasting any time trying to get a lot of gold on their side. Because even if Coco, that's a thing. Even if Coco is not presenting any danger, not getting any assists, not getting any gold from those fights. Same with Few. If they are ahead in global gold, your marksman is gonna get a lot more items that will be used for farming early on. Therefore, more gold. I feel like it's gonna be exponential. The growth of Coco on this Hanabi.
Yeah, the difference is Coco is was more well known with the Hellcurt, but this time instead of sticking to the lane, he will be sticking most of his time in the jungle. So I don't think there's a lot of a transition that he needs to do. He just needs to apply what he already knows when it comes to playing his heroes. So Coco on that Hanabi seems to be really dangerous. So when we end into the late game without that Hanabi being denied that experience, he will just ruffle stuff all the way to victory.
Yeah, I think so too right now. I think Bren is also thinking the same. Just get some gold on the Coco. Yes, let him catch up as much in terms of gold. And look at that, itemization-wise. We have a lot of attack speed here for this one. And on the other side, it's going to be an endless battle for Few. So very different play styles here for these marksmen. Obviously, because of the mechanics of this carry, Few might just need to be more hands-on.
Lord,
While Coco
resurrecting
can just,
soon.
you know what, bounce off as much as he can in the coming fights. Of course, Bren gonna try to take a tower on the bottom lane as well. Try to open up that farming area for Coco, but looks like mid lane is gonna be Cignal Ultra making a threat.
Yeah, it'll be a third, 1-for-1 third trade here, and both teams will want to have a lot of ground as possible in the upcoming North fight. But here we see Tets will be losing his life to the 4 of Bren Esports. An slight overextension from Cignal Ultra, but Bren Esports still managed to exploit that. And now Bren Esports will be looking to extend further their map control. They will find D here. D will be trying to shoot out of there and not going to find any kill, but Bren Esports choosing to prioritize the turret over the kills.
Yep, again, Bren Esports trying to like the rotation so far. Again, Cignal cannot even cross the river at this.
Retaliation from Cignal Ultra, Tets and Few and D, but they're running for their lives. Rico Hayes and Coco still at an even pain, still at a very healthy position here, and then that's the Nexus going out. Then that's game number 1.
And one swift move, Bren Esports take out Cignal Ultra.
Victory!
Just like that, 1-0 in favor of the red side squad. Good job there, Bren Esports again. That all started with that Lord Beam starting to walk down towards the bottom side of the map, and everyone from Bren Esports just going online, just making sure the timing is just right to go for the full 5v5 team fight, and they baited out Cignal Ultra like a beast.
I think the turning point over there was the moment how they patiently approached that Lord, the level 1 Lord. Lord kill, like they didn't just carelessly just mow down. When the first time they didn't find the bait, they did it again. For the second time, they waited for the bait, and it didn't happen.
And yeah, that's the time where Cignal Ultra is usually sending out tanks to check out those bushes to check, are they going for the baits? Apparently so. It was taking too long, so maybe that gave Cignal Ultra a false sense of security, like they probably want to go for it. Apparently they're going to go for one of your tanks. If you make a mistake, that's what they did. Man, that was a great fight again from Bren Esports, and very, very smart decision making. You gotta give it to these guys. They know the mindset that these pro teams have, and they're playing them like a fiddle.
Yeah, but Bren Esports will be approaching game number 2 with a lot more confidence boost here that they needed in game number 1. Winning game number 1 in a tough series is actually can actually drive the results here. They can close it out 2-0, but if Cignal Ultra can recover, they might just go the distance.
Apparently so. Then again, Bren Esports, they have been known to be very, very powerful and very decisive when they make the call, and that's exactly what happened like 90% of that game. You see that Cignal was having a great time in trying to chase off mistakes that Bren were doing, but the macro game was always in favor of the red side squad here, making sure they can pick off Yako early on. He doesn't have a level 4 ultimate. No sustain at all for that hero. And you know what? His was the one. Tets baited out to go for the check. He wasn't even checking the bush yet. He was just walking towards it. And then Bren jumped him like a sack of potatoes. There you go. So, D was going to be follow-up here. That was one by one from Cignal. Everyone was in a marching order. Few had no one to front for him that time, even though he had endless battle completed
Yeah, the movements of Bren Esports on top of that was robot like. It was like perfectly timed. Four-man gangs just to secure the key kills that they need to transition smoothly into the mid game
Yep.
uncontested. So that's how what differentiates Bren Esports from the rest of the pack.
Yeah.
Signal Ultra just lagging behind slightly in the decision making and predicting where Bren Esports would go. I think what Signal needs to do is they have to have a better read in approaching game number 2. They need to know where the dives will happen, when the dives will be committed, and they have to respond accordingly. And they failed to do that in game number 1.
Yeah, and funny thing about Bren, they baited out top. And Signal Ultra thought they were going top, and then they went to mid. Bottom lane was pushing, and then, you know what? They were just exhausted from clearing waves, clearing the minion camps at that point. And that's how Bren came out with a victory, of course. UG, 6-1-5 on the Gushin. Very well-deserved performance there.
We didn't even see the full potential of Agushan in that game. It was more like the team-oriented playstyle of Bren Esports just showing. So yeah, well-credited MVP for this game, but the fact that we didn't really get to see the bursts from a normal Gushin game just tells so much of what kind of game Bren puts to the table.
Yeah, and that's exactly what they do. That's the beautiful thing about Bren Esports games. There's really no like big star player that these guys actually use. Everyone just does the job perfectly. No one shines out. No one gets a majority share of the gold around the map. And you know what? That's just what makes him also such a formidable opponent. You don't know who to burst out usually, because even if you burst out their main damage dealer, their carry, as they say, they usually just come out on top with someone else around the team. Everyone is just so capable to kick team fights in their favor. And maybe it's just the draft, how Bren Esports does the draft. They don't just let someone call all the shots. You saw that Hanabi should have been the star player, should have had the majority of the kills, of the assists. Was actually very, very low in terms of gold.
They managed to pull that off even when drafting from the red side, which is right now in the metagame, it looks to be on a disadvantage when it comes to draft because you're forced to ban out that Harith. But they managed to turn that around in that last pick of a Hanabi, which is also a curveball towards Signal Ultra.
Yeah.
This is something that Signal Ultra will have to play in coming into game number 2. They will have to draft from the red side, something that we are yet to see if they can turn the tables around.
Yeah, and you don't really ban out a Hanabi. Not in the slightest. Again, that was game 1. Signal Ultra versus Bren Esports. You're watching the Mobile Legends Bang Bang Professional League. If you just joined us, I'm Rockhart. This is Zendex. And of course, this is the Road to Nationals brought to you by our legendary sponsor, Smart. And of course, we're going to show Signal Ultra once more. We got D, Daisenia, Eson, Few, Tats, and Yako. And this team, again, very formidable. Not surprised at all with the performance that they did show against the top team. Undoubtedly, the defending champions for Mobile Legends Bang Bang Season 1.
Yeah, so Signal Ultra, even though the standings didn't really show in the game number 1, it's more like they didn't really get to show that because Bren Esports didn't give them any single breathing room. Like,
That's right.
Bren Esports was playing optimal from the start to finish. Signal Ultra was trying to just grab that from them, but they just didn't find what they expected. Like, it was hard for them to materialize what they want to happen.
Yeah, and that's exactly the power of Bren right there. Signal Ultra, even though they have been very formidable against everyone else, basically everyone else in the MPL, they have not been able to just match power of Bren so far. I think the last time they met was basically also, I think they lost one game. Everything else, it was just a massacre. And you know what? That's the power of Bren right there. They're trying to cement where they are in the ladder. Of course, Execration is ahead so far in terms of points, but that was, again, these are accrued wins, accrued points from a lot of the lower tier teams. Everyone else, pound for pound, I think Bren just kind of beats them out.
All right, so now we're going to the draft of game number 2. It will be really interesting. How will Signal Ultra approach this from the red side? And
Your
now,
team is
the Harith
banning.
ban, of course. And this draft is really hard to call right now.
Exactly, because you know what? We saw a lot of picks there that have definitely been ban-worthy. Maybe the Hanabi, I don't know. It didn't like shine as much as we can, but it was a marksman that did its job. Hellkurt gonna be
Your
the priority
team
here.
is
Again,
banning.
Bren is kind of partial to the Hellkurt. A bit surprised that they did go off with it. Again, Few, Daisenia, either one of these guys would probably be able to use it. I have seen them in previous seasons doing that as well. Of course, a lot of the priority here is getting the ban onto either Claude or Leomord. And since they drafted this way, kind of gives the marker, kind of gives you the idea they're probably planning to pick up one of these heroes.
Yeah, that was really smart from Bren Esports, just going for a weird ban there and put Cignal Ultra in that weird soft
Another
spot.
weird
Now,
one.
They force a ban Akai, which is really weird now. A lot of tier 1 heroes is open, and this up for grabs for Bren.
Yeah, Claude probably going to be in the mines here for the blue side squad. Will they lock in, or will they try to go for the Leomord, which they have been having good success from in the past? And how do we see this is going to be a big pick, because if they don't, 2 huge picks going to be up for Cignal. They could probably get the Alice if they want to, and probably a Leomord.
It will be Coco's Leomord for this game. They kind of thought hard about it, because they're now risking 2 good picks from Cignal Ultra. Cignal Ultra might just go for
This is going to be
Alice.
a huge, humongous point here. We still have Claude out. We also have that Alice. And huge picks here. We also have Aldu, but they go for the show instead, still cementing that Cignal is not falling for it.
Yeah, just Cignal Ultra just opting for the safer picks here. They want a lot of options open for them, and then I think they'd rather react to what Bren will be planning. So far Bren has been showing a really solid performance, but no, they're hovering over the Alice and the Claude. This would spell doom for Cignal.
Man, I don't know why this happened. How Dude, why? I don't know. These picks are just way too powerful. We got Leomord, Alice, and the Claude in a single lineup.
Wow.
You are asking for it if you are Cignal here.
And Bren, they want to end this convincingly. So now Cignal Ultra, they'll be picking the heroes about the same tier, Lancelot and Gushan, but it's not really up right there with them. This will be one real tough fight for Cignal.
We're gonna have dinner early today, ladies and gents. Cignal Ultra, man. Why? I mean, take at least the Claude out to remove some of the DPS, because you know you're gonna be dealing with so much DPS from the squad. They close it out with 2 huge tanks. Haze, so prevalent, so popular on this Lolita. You wanna know why? They are gonna show it to you. Pain is gonna be piloting this Hylos as well. And this is a disaster.
If the iWin button was split into 5 different buttons, this would be it.
Yep, exactly. They try to counter it with the Aldous pick. Very smart. Could go for a huge macro decision to have Vision all the time for Cignal, but Vision is not gonna win you games in this one. Bren is gonna win this with pure brute force. I'm gonna call it 1-2-0 in favor of Bren, man.
Cignal Ultra here, they have the more evasive lineup actually, but this will be hard if once your evasion, all of your evasive skills are used up.
Yes.
You don't have anything to fall back upon, especially when you're up against a Hylos that can just speed up the entire opposing team.
Man, what is this? I want to take a screenshot of this and send it to my friends. Because this is just, you don't show this.
But this would be really interesting if Cignal Ultra manages to pull off the win.
Hey, if they manage to pull off a win, it should be a very, very early level 4. A level 4 assassination attempt onto either Claude or that Leomord is going to be so instrumental. It's vital. It's like, that's going to be lethal for Bren Esports. You got to get that locked and loaded level 4 right off the bat, or else you will be run over by the squad. If this game goes past 10 minutes, call it already.
Yeah, but if it goes 10 minutes and it is a huge advantage to the way of Cignal Ultra, they might just steal the game away from the wrath of the meta game right now.
Exactly. Again, everyone in chat must be going crazy. Do you want a Bren win or do you want a Sig win? Hashtag Bren win, hashtag Sig win. We want to know what you think. Again, don't forget, every 5 minutes you watch, you get a chance to get one of those gift chests. And when you open those gift chests, you get a chance to get a permanent skin. You got to check those out, man.
Yeah. Hopefully, these 2 teams will be giving you guys more 5 minutes.
Yeah, more 5 minutes, because this feels like it's going to go to the end fast, man. Again, you have to make sure your Mobile Legends account is bound to your Facebook account for you to get those. You know what? It's going to be a fast game for Bren Esports. Like, you really just have to call it, because this shouldn't happen.
Yeah,
Drafts like this should not happen. They are banned out all the time. We saw it. We see that. it happened for a reason.
You could also blame Signal Ultra by going for the Cho in the Akai picks.
Yeah.
Like you could maybe they have something in mind, but they didn't really expect for Bren to just go full YOLO and get Alice and
Yeah.
Alice and Claude are open. We'll just grab them then.
Yeah, and there's a reason also that maybe the Signal Ultra did this. Removing the Cho is actually pretty big. Because you know that Bren is happy to get Cho onto Yellow Haze whenever they get the chance. And if they allowed Cho and Leomord in the same composition, that might have been a disaster. They also lock in that Akai, which is a great counter for Leomord. If you can lock him in, that's all of the life steals, all of the shields removed from this guy. If he can't spam momentum, he can't spam the decimation strike, you know he's going to get onto a good position. We're going into game. Bren Esports versus Cignal Ultra Game 2. Ladies and gentlemen, spam out your support. Is it a hashtag Bren win? Hashtag Sig win? Because I know what I'm spamming for today. Again, share the stream if you haven't shared it yet. Hashtag be legendary.
Launch attack!
There you go. So, Bren Esports seem to be having a very standard opening. No surprise there. Aldo's going to be soloing it on the bottom lane for a majority of this game. We've also seen a lot of teams running Claude into a solo lane as well, not participating in fights, using Blazing Dust, Claude's ultimate, to clear out waves non-stop and jungle camps non-stop. Could be a repeat of that strategy right here.
Yeah, so instead of the Hanabi, actually this will be more on Rebo's Claude. Coco more on the role for the Leomord. He'll be sticking around in lanes. Signal Ultra can keep tabs on the Leomord, but not as much on the Claude. But now we're seeing our first rotation here. It might be a pickoff here, but I highly doubt it. It's a Kai and a few on the Lancelot. So, Bren Esports will be returning to the middle lane, but both teams just being relentless so far in terms of pacing.
Yeah, apparently so. Again, Cignal also want to up the tempo on that one. Because I did mention early on, they need to get the early kills in if they want to counter Bren. But looks like Bren, they read that like a book. Find them on the D, on the Dysenia. They go in, stun him out. That's going to be a very non-mobile Gushin here. Doesn't have ultimate yet. First blood goes over to Bren Esports.
Yeah, that was one quick pickup from a 3-man rotation from Bren Esports. Dysenia falling on the Gushan. That is bad news for him. He will have a slower start compared to his opponents.
That's right. Again, we still got the rest of Bren Esports scrambling for
Turtle
gold right now.
resurrecting soon.
That gold is still even because of the macro decision that Signal Ultra is doing. Clear out money curry as many jungle camps that they can and catch up. That first blood gold evaporated. Again, good job for Signal for doing that, but they should. They drafted the composition that should win out early game. Look at this, Pain being dove in by 4 members. Bren, Signal Ultra, they get 2 kills for their efforts. Get that gold bleed into 1.2k. Probably going to be more with the take on.
Ooh, chase it. Commit onto Coco. Coco responds with a steed. He will try to chase away Yaku, but at the same time, Signal Ultra just successfully gets the turtle. That in the team fight a while ago, that was a really well-played execution from Signal Ultra. They just dived right in, picked up 2 heroes, and this will put them actually ahead from Bren Esports.
Yeah, that is exactly what they need to do, by the way. Signal Ultra, good job on this one. If you want to get ahead Bren Esports on the competition, you have to do it before 10 minutes. Clear out the game. You have to be at least 5,000 gold ahead of them at 10-minute game time. If you want to get ahead, and if you want to beat them out, because you know what? Bren Esports, they will have that Claude. The power of that is still unmatched, despite the nerfs, as well as the Leomord. 2 points of power here for the blue side squad.
Yeah, but now I'm starting to see a pattern here on Bren Esports. Like, they have this almost perfect draft, but now it's like they shot themselves in the foot. They're now thinking about who will they prioritize in terms of farm. It will be the Alice or the Claude. The Leomord will also need some farm in an early game to have a proper transition. This is something that Signal Ultra can exploit as much as possible, because they only have only 2 heroes to focus on, which is the Lancelot and the Gushan.
That's right. Again, Bren Esports has Rebo on his Claude. Just as he said, show me the money. That's exactly what he's trying to do. He's not joining fights just yet, for a good reason. Of course, Signal Ultra will capitalize on this. They go for a turret, getting the gold lead even further into their area. 2.4k right now. The Bren Esports seem to be happy to just swap that out in terms of where they are on the map.
Yeah, but they're lagging behind in terms of third push here. Like Cignal Ultra easily pushed down that bottom turret with a 4-man composition now, and now they're gearing towards the top area of the map. They will find Coco here, and there will be the Steed. He will be running up, but Tets gets caught here. Can he do the initiative that he needs? Pain with Hylos charges in.
Yep, right now everyone else
Turtle resurrecting soon.
On a defensive stance. Cignal Ultra trying to answer as much as they can. They do not want to allow Bren Esports any opening right now. Three members in the mid lane, and everyone is circling around that turtle area. I think D is baiting it out. Turtle will go down very fast though, again because of the early game power of these picks from Cignal Ultra.
I didn't notice if the turtle was managed to be secured by Cignal Ultra.
It was.
Oh, okay, so but Bren, they were completely zoned out by the movements of Cignal Ultra. They had no choice but to retreat downwards. So now we're seeing Cignal Ultra reenacting the gameplay of Bren Esports in game 1. They're now invading with teams of 4. There's something that Chase Fate will get committed. I don't think so.
Oh, that's gonna go down on the bottom lane here. We gotta see that. Of course, Coco also gonna answer the top lane push, but bottom. We're gonna see Aldous making his way out. Blazing Dust pop by Rebo. Here's Yuji with the follow-up. Will he go for it? I think so. Ultimate will be knocked in. Does much lifesteal. He goes for tower instead. That's gonna be will sacrifice some of that health. And I think they might get the kill on that. Of course, no. He's gonna have to flicker out there. So far, Bren Esports catching up slowly.
Yeah, D and Yaku almost died over there, but Bren Esports still managed to take the bottom turret. So they're still happy with that. But they have to realize they're now playing from behind. It's not actually that big. They're going to look to close this 3k gold gap. Cignal Ultra is looking to set up some traps here. They're going to find any strayaways from Bren Esports. They're not going to find anyone soon. So they're now gearing towards the middle lane. And now we're seeing Tets diving in. Didn't find anyone.
So far, I think Bren just wants to play this defensively as well. Again, game time I'm giving them is like 10 minutes. You have to kick out Bren by at least 5,000 gold if you want to succeed. And they're doing just that. They catch off on the Pain. Pain suffers from Way of the Dragon, gets eliminated by 4 members of Cignal Ultra there. Awesome collapse. We got Haze though. He could probably charge a Numen Blast. Phantom Sea goes in, Blazing Dust as well. Oh my god, the Cignal Ultra lineup is getting decimated. Oh, Jesus Christ. We have a lot of gold going over to Bren because of that.
That was an awesome combo connecting for Bren Esports. The Steed into a Numenon Blast just puts them back into the race. Now they're only going to close in only a lesser gold here, but Coco will try to close onto Yaku. But Yaku will survive. Haze will be backing up, but Yaku will go for the retreat as he waits. But no teammates are available for him to board the backup. Now we're seeing a focus from Bren Esports. They want to take this top turret.
And looks like Bren Esports, again, very happy to just take gold wherever they can and try to go for the chase onto top lane. Rest of Cignal Ultra starting to make their way up. Gonna be way too late though, gonna get some gold. Of course, Pain's gonna be the bait here. Way of the Dragon again back, and so many members of Cignal Ultra followed by a Hurricane Dance. You're not getting out of that one.
Pain's team is just late to respond to the scene, but now here comes 3 from the side of Bren Esports. Can they turn this around? Chase Fate will be committed. He will go for Tets, but Tets will be jumping out to safety. But it's D on the danger zone. Coco, Haze, and Rebo in Yuji will be regrouping.
Apparently, Bren Esports, they want to fight every time they want. They don't care if Pain gets taken out. I think they feel that Rebo is doing actually a good job on the Execration. I really want to see that out because they seem to be ready to go for the team fights at that point.
But they have to play better in the next few minutes as they are now lagging behind in terms of experience. Yaku and Few are the first to hit the double-digit levels. Rebo is just hit level 10. They have to play a bit faster here and try to regain the tempo back from Cignal Ultra.
Yep, Bren Esports playing catch-up in terms of experience as well. Again, it's going to be Glorious Pathway on top lane just to make sure no one tries anything funny. Cignal Ultra still waiting on the bushes on the bottom lane. I think they might catch up on the Rebo here. Will he get taken out? Apparently so. Few gets him out of the map. We got Cignal pushing upon bottom lane as well. Could be a very fast push if they do not answer. Apparently, Bren, they care for their towers pretty much.
I think Cignal Ultra is doing it. They're playing against this almost perfect draft of Bren Esports. And D and Tets, they will be trying to shoo away both Pain and His. They wanted this bottom turret, but here comes Yuji with the blink in. Will they find anyone? Yuji is life draining a lot here, but few Tets and D will be responding back. They will try to hold on to their 0 lives and then try to do some pickups. Yuji managed to take out Tets. This will be a kill towards Bren Esports, and Few is going to be next to fall here as all 3 of Bren, but no, they say the backup takes out Yuji, and he will be taking out Haze next. Rebo is all alone.
Outplayed there. Phantom Execution makes him invulnerable. Nice try again, Rebo, the only remaining survivor from that fight. Man, Cignal Ultra are playing out of their mind right now. That's gonna be
Ultra, they're doing it.
They are doing it. They are telling me that I am wrong. Rockcar, we are gonna do exactly what you did. But what you said, we're gonna get ahead on goal so much before 10 minutes, and Bren Esports are probably not gonna be able to come out of this one.
This would be an impacting performance for game number 3. If Bren Esports managed to lose this, it would be a huge momentum boost for Cignal Ultra. Right now, they're just solving all the problems that are being laid out to them. So they have been in front of them is the top 3 heroes right in the game. They have no problems, they're just taking it as a team. So this is actually something that Cignal Ultra wants to prove to everyone. Meta game is actually nothing, it's still up to the teams.
Yeah, again, Yaku's so strong already on this Aldous. We're talking meta. That's one of the powerful meta picks as well that we have for Cignal Ultra. They go for turrets very fast. Look at that punch. He's going down. He's one punch man. They are locking Bren Esports inside their base. We got Lord knocking in the mid lane as well. This is gonna be very this is gonna be the determining fight, ladies and gents.
Yeah, so Bren Esports will be contained inside their base. They can focus on the Lord from safety, but D gets got out of position. D was just so deep. Lord goes down, but D managed to just shoot out of safety.
Yep.
But now the relentless attack from Cignal Ultra is continuing, and Coco goes down the steed. Also the Glorious Path gets laid down. Few gets got out of position. But then he managed to flicker out of the safety. And now Cignal Ultra will be looking to just back off for now.
This is so close for Bren Esports. You gotta keep your eyes on Yako as well. Bottom lane already being committed there by D. That was actually a bit weird. Cancelled on the way of Dragon. Here comes Yuji with the dive in. Tets goes in with the Hurricane Dance. And it's gonna be a kill on the Yuji instead.
Oh no, Yuji will just go in. He just falls easily there. Yaku, as you said, he will just wail down. They need to watch out for this Aldo. But Yaku, and as well as a few combos, they will just weigh him on this Haze. And the Nexus is now exposed to the all 4 players of Cignal Ultra. And this is a quick turnaround.
Wow!
We're going to game number 3, guys.
We're gonna go to game number 3. Again, despite all the state of this draft, they were able to just ignore that. They went for their win condition. What did I say their win condition was? Get to a huge goal lead before 10 minutes, before Brent can go online. And you have got this in the bag. They did just that. Congratulations, Cignal Ultra. They tied out against Bren Esports 1-1.
Yeah, so calling an almost perfect draft is actually incorrect right now. Because as I mentioned, the Leomord, Alice, and a Claude, this puts you into a dilemma. Like, who would you prioritize first in terms of farm? Cignal Ultra doesn't have this problem. They only have the Lancelot and Gushan just to think about, as well as the Aldo, just split pushing. So in terms of push and objectives, yeah, looks like Cignal Ultra read this game like a book, and that's why they're walking off with a win on game number 2.
Seems so, man. Congratulations again, Cignal Ultra. This is how they actually won out. This is how they got second place in the regular season, season 1 grand finals as well. So much trust in the calls, making sure they have the draft always. They play towards their own style, their own gameplay. They don't really care much about the meta, and they are doing a phenomenal job, again, fighting toe-to-toe with one of the best of the country as well, Bren Esports.
Yeah, that's a turning point right there in a replay. Like, they just dive right in and managed to do some 2 hero kills and then go for a turtle. And then right now, even though Bren Esports managed to respond to that correctly, Cignal Ultra still walked off away with still a significant advantage there. And then Cignal Ultra, it's just a matter of them choosing the team fights correctly.
Yeah, and a lot of the times where Bren Esports would win out on the team fights, you know what, Cignal Ultra somehow managed to scrape off something on the backside. Again, the follow-up by Daisenia here was just so good on that Gushin. Of course, the follow-up as well by Yako, being such a driving force, a powerful point of contention here for Bren Esports, can confuse the blue team as well.
Yeah, so during earlier in the draft, like I think it kind of crumbled apart from the point where they had to choose both Alice and Claude. Like actually, I think they were better off with just choosing only one of them, just opting for a more utility-oriented hero as their third pick.
Exactly, and because of that, it's going to be your MVP. Few on that Lancelot, untouched with a free 0-9 despite so many close calls in that game. He was just diving in and out, baiting up so much attention from Bren Esports as well. And despite not being too high up in the kill standings, he did just the right amount of destruction to allow the rest of Cignal Ultra to catch up.
Yeah, so Lancelot just utilized the evasion capability of utilizing Lancelot's evasion capability to the utmost potential. Like he played around 3 of the hardest heroes to play against, and I didn't really notice if he managed to actually infinitely dash everywhere, but I'm sure it's up there. He didn't die even once.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure he made full use of that puncture. No surprises at all in how Few was able to eke that victory out. Then again, congratulations, Cignal Ultra. They tie it out, but can they close up against Bren Esports? They kind of shook up the draft earlier, and they were able to get out some key components of Bren Esports as usual. Winning lineups, getting the Akai, getting the Cho. You saw what D was doing on that show earlier. So many big plays were actually enabled by him, especially so many assassination plots against Pain, who again was the primary tank in that game, but was basically always getting Way of the Dragon back into so many Cignal Ultra members.
Yeah, it's the magic of giving D his Cho. Like he just manages to like be connected to the hero. So that was one of the best performances of a Cho in that game right there. You are playing against 3 of the hardest heroes. We're emphasizing on this because it was that hard.
Yeah, it really is. Again, out-drafting Bren Esports is going to be questionable at best, but maybe, just maybe, they did by removing some of their key components. And you know what, Cignal Ultra, they seem to be very happy with that one. And it's just a question of Bren Esports closing this out, I think, because you know what, we've seen them come out with 2-1 victories before. If Cignal Ultra manage to win out on this one, though, they're gonna be the ones to eke out a huge loss against Bren Esports. That's an honor only Finesse Solid has had.
Yeah, so but if Bren Esports loses again, this would put them into 2 losses already. Cignal Ultra is going to this series actually is red hot. Like they are in 5-0 in standings in terms of match series. So this will be something that Cignal Ultra wants to protect. They are on a win streak, and they are looking to not letting go of that.
Absolutely. At any point in this game, will they ever let go of that? Again, Cignal Ultra, they want to beat out Bren. This is the perfect chance to do so. So cementing that second place, if ever. I think they will still be in third, rather. Yeah, Bren Esports already won the first game, so Cignal Ultra cannot get a free point anymore. They will be cemented on third place. That's not bad. But you know what? You will still be able to say, haha, we actually beat the second placers out earlier in the week before the grand finals. So, you know what? Bren Esports, they probably can still get out on top, because I think in terms of games played, they might be behind. They have a lot more. I think tomorrow they will also play.
Yeah, actually, Bren Esports has already played 6 matches already compared to Cignal Ultra's 5. But Cignal Ultra, as I said,
the other way around.
Yeah, so Cignal Ultra is already in 5-0 winning streak in terms of series. So they want to protect it as much as possible. They want to, maybe they are aiming for going into the playoffs without any match losses. So Bren Esports at the same time, they don't want another loss put into their team name.
Absolutely. Again, it is actually very surprising how well Bren Esports can actually play when they are put up in the pressure. I've seen that a lot in the season 1, where they weren't really perfect at all. They suffered a loss from a team that no one expects them to lose up against. So when they were pressured into that one, man, did they drive them to the floor. So Bren Esports has a history of that. I hope they can emulate that here, because I have a lot of faith in this composition. For Cignal, though, they've been the rising stars of this season. Season 2, in the first season, they were second placers. no one expected them to do so, but they did. And you know what? This is a chance for them to say, hey, we deserve to be on second place right now.
Okay, so Cignal Ultra actually opens up this draft with another awkward ban, banning out two damage dealers, damage dealing mages here, Alice and Harley. Bren Esports will
Yeah, I
they
guess
go for the meta?
every mage is probably gonna get banned out today, except for Harley and Lunox, who we haven't really seen in the bans anytime soon because of basically nerfs or basically bug fixes around him.
Yeah.
Again, anyway. So for the meantime, though, again, Bren Esports seem to be happy to just play around it. For the meantime, again, keeping the ban on the Harif. I'm kind of expecting a Leomord here, unless they want to give away Cignal.
Okay, so they're now banning the Gushon, so they recognize the performance a while ago from their opponent. So right now, Cignal Ultra, they have the luxury of getting the first pick. This would be really interesting. Like, would they go for the safer pick once again by getting the... Oh, they're going for the Claude.
Okay, I did not notice the Claude was left out of the ban phase there. Again, kind of smart, powerful pick still. You saw earlier, Rebo had strong potential on despite being 0, 2, and 4. He was actually a very scary threat, and that's without kills. What if you can put kills onto a Claude? What if you can actually give him all the gold he needs to function? That's scary for Cignal there.
Yeah, when a Claude, a fully farmed Claude just goes open fire to the 5, it's just a slaughterhouse.
That is true. Again, it will be answered by this very powerful Leomord as well. They secure the chose at the same time, which I'm pretty sure Hayes is very happy about.
Yeah, they steal that Cho away from D. And then at the same time, they also get the Leomord. So this is something that they can play in this game with their advantage. Like, they have a superior CC already. Tets, however, will be getting that hands on the Grok.
Absolutely.
Something that interesting on how will Bren approach this draft further.
Yeah, because I think Bren seems to be happy to just going places here with this very mobile composition. I kind of expect maybe Harley. Harley was banned out. I'm expecting Kagura, but it's Cignal took it in, so they're leaving out a lot of the mage picks kind of in the air.
Yeah, they would be left, I think, with good heroes in our fighting type, but it's kind of unfortunate that they lost on a lot of magical damage so far. Cignal Ultra still going in for that balanced approach of drafting. So I think the Akai will be going for Tets, I believe. Let's just see how will the hero swapping would go.
And Yaku hovering over nothing, and you know what? They will pick up the Alvis again because he was very good on the last game. Why not try to keep it up on Game 3? And speaking of Game 3, you guys are watching the Mobile Legends Bang Bang Professional League Season 2 brought to you by your legendary sponsor, Smart. And this is the road to the Nationals. And we hope you are enjoying. Please do share the stream. It's going to be the last match for the day. But you know what? Give this video. Show your friends this video with the hashtag #BeLegendary.
Be legendary indeed. And the winner of this match will be surely walking out of the room as legends. As they just have the bragging rights of what... Like, if Cignal Ultra will be walking over a 6-0 streak, or Bren Esports just maintaining their dominance. So this is something that is very storied right now. So UG will be going for the Selena as the last pick.
There you go. Good stuff here. I mean, you don't see Selena that much, and that's because of the difficulty with setup. But you know what? She can really have a lot of burst potential, and stuns on Arcane Missiles just so long. Probably good luck in someone, especially if it hits that Claude. You know what? Why not? They're gonna go ahead and try that out. Of course, we will be loading up into the game once more. Again, Bren Esports versus Cignal Ultra Game 3, ladies and gentlemen. And show us your predictions. Who's gonna take out this best of 3 series? Will it be a hashtag Bren win or hashtag Sig win? Cannot wait to see the responses on the comment section.
Also, don't forget that every 5 minutes that there will be a pop-up on your screens with the claim button, so you will be winning exciting prizes. So make sure you have your mouse in hand, or just manage to just click that claim button. So that's something that you have to keep in mind while watching, and please share to your friends, your family, your neighbors. And that this is the MPL Season 2 Road to Nationals, supported by our legendary sponsors, Smart.
There you go. So, any predictions here for this last match? Because you know what, both teams got kind of good drafts.
Yeah, it's a well-balanced draft on both sides. This is actually a toss-up. Like, who will be firing the trigger first? Who will have the first advantage in the first few 2 minutes, and it will all boil down to that, and then technical plays when it comes to the objectives, like the turtle fights and the lord fights. It will all come down to that.
I kind of want to give them the win condition here for Bren. For Cignal. Get Claude rolling. I think that's basically it. You have 2 threats. You got Few. You on the Claude. You got Yako on the Alu. So try to get them rolling as soon as possible. You know what, Bren Esports? I think they just want to play the map as fast as possible as well.
Yeah, but the problem here with the Bren Esports that they only have they only have the Selena and the Liam. Oh wait, they have the carry, but they have something that going for them in the late game. But they're up against a Claude. That's something that they have to keep in mind. But at the same time, Cignal Ultra has put all their eggs into one basket, which is the Claude here.
And there's also crazy rotations gonna come over and crazy mobility from the Cignal Ultra squad. They are doing a lot of work. Of course, Hayes gonna try to put up a threat there on the bottom lane. He's very confident with the show movements. And we've seen him time and time again on this hero. Pretty highly ranked on the global ladder as well. Right now, Cignal Ultra though, seem to be just happy to just play a bit passively on the bottom side of the map.
But in the upper part of the map, I think there's a small aggression there. No, they back up. It looks like both teams are just playing this one carefully. They don't want to afford a loss here. This could mean a lot to them when approaching to the playoffs. So right now, these two teams are just looking to stabilize in a not easy manner.
Yeah, and Cignal seem to be also on the road to doing just that. Just play it safe and play it out stall the game out as long as you can. Try to be as surgical. Try to be as concise as possible in where you're going for the fight.
Soon.
Don't give Bren Esports any openings, and I think that's what they're doing though. Right now, Yuji and Coco going to be pressured up in mid lane. Phantom Seed called up by Coco. Tries to chase up on the D. He tries a wild charge out there. I don't think so. Coco goes for the chase. We got Daisenia though being played around here on the Kagura. And Bren, they are relentless.
First blood will be the death of Daisenia there, going to the way of Hayes. And it will look like a short turtle here, but D is still on the standby. He's hiding in the bush. He's biding his time. His team is also ready to respond here. I don't think Bren Esports is in a really good position to just take this turtle easily from their opponents. And now here comes the invade. Turtle has been stolen!
A steal!
By D there, but D will be paying with his life. Coco will be charging forward. They will try to look for more kills, but they will be going back to their lanes.
Yep, just like that, Cignal Ultra almost equalizes up against Bren Esports, even though they are behind by 2 kills. Tets goes on the bottom lane, gets a bit more hands-on with Coco here, petrified as well after that very strong Hurricane Dance. Of course, Blazing Dust going to be used by Few as well. Here's another Phantom Seed round 2. It's already off cooldown. Of course, Cignal Ultra going to be able to make it out there alive.
That was a close call for both Coco and Hayes there. They almost got picked up unnecessarily there, but looks like Cignal Ultra, they're just playing it safe for now.
Yeah, again, Cignal Ultra, they're trying to just wait for the perfect time to go in. They almost found that with Coco. Great lock-in by the Hurricane Dance on the Akai. You also tried to petrify him in spot. Apparently, if you don't have a DPS hero, it's actually very difficult to destroy Leomord. Coco on this Leomord. So again, Bren Esports, they have to be very, very careful. They need to make the pickoffs happen as soon as possible.
Alright, so we're seeing movement from Bren Esports. They're looking for a kill in the bottom lane, but Few manages to just mirror image out of that to safety. Bren Esports, they will be sticking around a bit longer here. They want to secure this bottom turret. Tets with the Akai is ready to respond. Chase Fate gets casted. Will it be committed? I don't think so. Looks like it will be a turret to the way of Bren.
Yeah, and again, Cignal Ultra was also threatening on top lane. You know what? They do trades. This is what they do. Absolutely. That's what you need to do against Cignal, against Bren. But you know what? Few looks like he's in a bad spot. Already up there on the bottom. He's on the Dexter. Ooh, there you go. That's what I'm talking about. Magic Missile. Sorry. Arcane Missile onto that very squishy claw there is what you need to do. And they are doing just that.
Alright, so Bren Esports, even though that they were charged in by the Claw, they managed to just respond according to they didn't really panic. They just played what they do best, is just team fight properly better than the enemy.
Yeah, and again, on the spot rotations is what they want to do. Daisenia also suffers from the long, prolonged stuns. And of course, Daisenia gonna have to dish and dash out there. Well, looks like he's gonna be boxed in by Hayes here. Here's the backup by Few though. Does he have the ultimate? I don't think so. Just clears up the minion waves. And you know what? That's gonna be Bren repelled by the push of Cignal Ultra. Of course, they will have an opening here to try to get that turtle. Will it be stolen once more? Big question. Secured by Selena, apparently.
Oh, Yaku gets kicked out to the behind there, but looks like it will be a death on Hayes there. Hayes is not in an easy position there, but looks like no death so far. Bren Esports is going to surround on Tets. Tets is in the low, falls down to the hands of UG.
No, good job there for Cignal Ultra. Despite the death of Tets here, I feel like they would have lost a lot more in that fight. But it seems like they will also lose up in terms of tower here.
Oh, gets hit by the arrow. D will is kind of danger here. Hayes goes for the kick. Payne asking for the save, and D will just go into retreat here.
There you go.
Easy middle turret for Bren Esports once again.
So they're playing really fast-paced Mobile Legends right now. 2.5k ahead. Look at those items already completed. Is going to be that Blade of Despair for that Leomord. 2-0 is free. That's exactly what you need if you are a Leomord early on, and he's doing a good job keeping up the tempo.
Yeah, we're seeing Yaku just casting that chase phase just to check the positioning of Bren Esports. So as we can see, Bren Esports now starting to open up that gap in terms of net worth. They're now ahead by 4k net worth. Still early in the game, it's still 6-minute mark, but that's something that they don't want to give Cignal Ultra the breathing room. Even though they're up ahead 6-0 in terms of kills, it's really not that far off.
Absolutely. And again, Coco is happy to go in. Oh my god, Few gets hit with the arrow again. Yuji though, gonna be repelled by the two-man force here. Daisenia and D gets taken out at the end of that fight. And you know what, Bren Esports starting to lose out on the map.
Alright, so that was the first kill on the way to the Cignal Ultra, and now they're trying to close this whole gap. Yaku in danger though, can he get away from here? I don't think he will, even though Chase Fade got casted, and this will be another turret going to the way of Bren, and Bren just being ahead in terms of objectives.
Yeah, Coco was even there just for good measure. They tried to continue up on the push.
Lord
Steps to be the
resurrecting
sole
soon.
defender of the top lane. Hurricane dances out, tried to clear out the minion waves, but he will be chased down instead. D and Yelihaze rather. He goes in for the chase. Flicker just in time. Cannot make it out there with a 1000-pounder. Bren Esports pushing up top lane, getting advantages around the map.
Yeah, the sequence of events happening in the way for Bren right now is really perfect for them. Right now, I think they are in a comfortable position to just take the level 1 Lord, but I think they're now prioritizing into like reducing the turret count of Cignal Ultra. They want to have an established map control as they enter the mid game.
Exactly, and that is just what they are doing. Coco, Phantom Seeds in just to zone out Cignal Ultra. And at 7, almost 8 minutes, ladies and gents, Bren Esports are up by 6,000 on the gold score.
Yeah, so Bren Esports just being methodical here, just prioritizing the objectives, just not really being greedy when kills are in sight. They just want the turrets, and they just want the map control. So right now we're seeing Cignal Ultra trying to desperately catch up. There will be a Lord fight soon enough, but looks like this will be Lord going to the way of Bren. But we're seeing also Cignal Ultra trying to group up, giving the farm that Daisenia needs. And
man, I feel like Bren Esports is dragging this up a bit longer, but at the same time, you know what, Rebo's 2-0-2. It might not be a good idea to go all in just yet. Maybe we can try to go for a Lord, since you know what, this Lord area is ours.
yeah, but Bren just being sure, just having the insurance in place there. They don't want to just carelessly go for the Lord. They know that Cignal Ultra can just quickly just jump in and steal it away from them potentially. So they want that option out of the picture. So right now they're just setting up a trap here for Cignal Ultra, and looks like they won't be catching anyone soon as Cignal Ultra senses the same.
Yeah, the rest of Cignal Ultra seem to be very aware of what Bren Esports is trying to pull here, and they are not falling for it at all. Right now though, Bren still patiently waiting. That's a long time to wait there for an ambush. They are sticking to their guns. Of course, he will be spotted out of that bush. It might be just a good idea to just go for the Lord at this point, because you know what? Cignal Ultra is still basically...
Well, this is risky. Hayes might get found by Tets here. He's going to be surrounded soon by Cignal Ultra members, and right now, the Lord is the focus right now, but when Esports will be shifting their attention to D, they will manage to take out this ground away from a wall. No CCs got nullified there. Steve gets called by Coco. He will go hammer as he slashes in all directions, and Yuji will be taking out Daisenia. Payne will also contribute a lot to that fight, and Yaku is stuck all alone in this jungle side of Bren Esports.
Good retribution kill there for Yaku. Just go, gives a message that you cannot bully me out of this. What are you talking about? I am an Alus. I am a very powerful hitter. And, but you can't fight 3v1 though.
Yeah, Yaku will be falling shortly to the hands of 3 players of Bren Esports. He wanted to back him up, but was just too late to the scene. And he's just going to stick around for longer, just keeping tabs on Bren Esports.
Again, Bren Esports now ahead by 6.5k. They're keeping the pressure up on the Lord, not really allowing any breathing room here for Cignal Ultra. Cignal Ultra is still trying to recuperate from that fight. And D is going to do a check once more. And this time around, there's no carry though, so you're kind of okay.
Yeah, okay indeed, but Bren Esports will be conceding for now again the Lord. They'll be approaching this more carefully because they recognize how Cignal Ultra plays out. The moment that they commit a mistake, Cignal Ultra can just steamroll out of that momentum.
So again, that's Bren actually. That's really how they are. Very, very careful all the time. Always so calculated. And that's how they win out a lot of games. That's why they have such a high win rate. And you know what? Coco is going to be the one to get the chase on. D, of course, will be facing the Phantom Seed head on. We got Few on the side trying to dish out as much damage as you can. Haze, though.
Alright.
Addition dive out there.
That was a nice disengage from Cignal Ultra. They were actually potentially about to fall to the hands of the gang from Bren Esports, but now Bren has a nice positioning and a head start on the Lord. And now this is the fake Lord take that they've been showing since the beginning of the game.
Yeah,
right now
right
they
there.
go for D. They are not waiting for any counter initiations. The Spain getting focused down low, and Hayes is about to get isolated so far from his teammates, and he will be falling to the. Actually, he still managed to get a kill, and Yaku just arrived in time. But we have been seeing a lot of kills being traded on both sides. As Yuji, he wants to finish off. That's there, and this is looking like a Lord for Bren.
A super prolonged team fight there by Bren Esports. For a moment there, you thought Cignal Ultra was probably ahead. Apparently not. Bren just wanted to go for the run around there. And despite Few getting so many hits on the Blazing Dust with that ultimate from the Claude, he's still 0-2-2. That's just amazing to see. Again, Bren Esports knows that Cignal Ultra probably want to go for the collapse with Blazing Dust ready. But you know what? They know how to play around this.
Yes, and that the player has been showing all the entire game. After this matchup, you may expect a reduction in terms of blood bans, and it is a mega kill to the Way of Pain as they catch Lysania off guard.
Yep, no successful claws as yet today. Bren Esports playing it up like God. Revo's still on top lane, very farmed on the carry. He's not participating on the fights just yet. Very happy to just get some gold in his pockets before he goes for the GG push. We still got the rest of Bren Esports trying to control up where the minions are going to be, because you know what? It's going to be so big. Getting minions alongside a Lord push, it's so difficult to deal with.
Yeah, right now, Bren Esports is way ahead in terms of net worth as well as experience. This is something that Cignal Ultra needs to catch up quickly if they still want to be in this game.
Yeah.
So right now, Bren Esports will be gearing towards and escorting the Lord towards the siege to the turret, and Cignal Ultra is all bunched up ready to defend.
Seems to be going to be another push here, ladies and gents. D faces up with the arrow, the arcane arrow. Going to have a lot of time, a lot of health though, to resist. Of course, bottom lane also getting pushed in, as well as top. This is the timing push that we know Bren loves to do.
Yeah, Bren Esports will be looking into sieging this right now and out later, and they are sticking around for a long time here. I think they are really committed here. They want to just take at least one turn, and Yaku gets picked up there. That was crucial, and it will be a way for Bren Esports to just simply penetrate this base of Cignal Ultra.
I think that's it, man. Bren Esports fighting 4v5, no marksman here. Major damage front dealt with. Tet's gonna be picked up, gonna be kicked out. Hurricane dances to safety though. D in the middle of the fight, he's very low. He has immortality. I don't think he can survive though. He will go down as well as a turret, and that is basically all of Cignal Ultra's base in shambles. And Bren, they collapse, they take the target, and they win out the fight.
Bren Esports will be cementing the number one position here as they catch up towards Execration spot as they take this Nexus and then going for a dive.
Oh, I missed that. Thank you. Thank you so much for bringing that back.
That's a statement when I see one.
Yep, that is the backspace back there. You can see they're very happy to do that.
Look.
Bren Esports cleared it out with a 2-1 victory against Cignal Ultra.
That was a hard-fought series, even though Bren made it look easy.
Absolutely.
It was not easy to pull off.
And it is really fun watching them play around here with Signal Ultra, baiting out all the big plays. And Signal Ultra really tried. I really got to give them that. They really tried to go for the big plays. They tried to outsmart Bren Esports by trying to go for the super delayed Lord check. They play that so many times. I think they spent a solid 3 minutes camping out the Lord area. But in the end, you know what? It's really hard to out macro Bren Esports.
So even though Bren Esports, you know them by their dives in the turret, you know them for their aggression, but at the same time, they have this level of patience that they continually showcase throughout this series. There's something that other teams might learn from them, even the other countries as well. Right now, I'm expecting that all the countries were having their eyes on this matchup. So Bren Esports, just
A lot of other countries here know that the Philippines has been dominating in terms of Southeast Asia and everywhere else. And it's safe to say, Bren Esports is definitely a match to watch against these guys. You have to get all their tricks. You have to know how they do that GG push. One big fight on the Lord. Get minions in a great position. The timing on the minion waves from top, bottom, and mid was just beautiful. And basically making that timing push against a team like Signal Ultra, that takes a lot of power. And Bren, they were happy to display that today.
yeah, they just showcased one of the best one of their best performances so far in the season. So going into the playoffs, they will be walking into that phase pretty confident and with a boost of momentum. So that's something that will surely help, and something for other teams to keep in mind. They have to be more prepared than this.
Absolutely, man. Signal Ultra, they tried to play the draft game against Bren on game 3 and did it just blow up in their face. Good job again. You can see on the highlight reels, though, it was a majority. It was not no single player carrying the rest of Bren. A lot of the setups, Yuji was failing on some of them. Okay, of course, the arrow was always, most of the time, on point. But you know what? It was not perfect at all. No one was shining out like a shooting star. We got Bren doing the macro game against Coco, using Coco against a very mobile Claude. That's saying something as well. And then you saw the push. Towers were going down at the same time. That's how well Bren has a control on the macro game here for this one. And Signal Ultra, of course, being given the very, the treatment that they deserve apparently for this game. The backstreet is back in the base, courtesy of Smart right there. And that just goes to show Coco
Around the map and finding something to pick off or farm. Even also including the Lord fights. So the being on point on that speed is what what gave him this 5-0-11 KDA.
Absolutely. Always, it's hard to not die if you're going to be the point of focus in an enemy team's radar. And Coco pulled that off just so easily, making it sound so easy to use a Liamort. It really isn't. I can tell that from experience. So, good job for Coco and for being MVP of that game. I'm pretty sure for the whole series. And give this guy props, guys. Again, learn from this Liamort picks. Download this video, and you might pick up a thing or two.
Yeah, if looking to actually forming a solid team, yeah, you just have to just simply watch Bren Esports how they play, like how they decide on when to push out, when to do rotations, when to take the Lord, or when to set up traps. All factors of competitive play, they just manage to just execute it smoothly.
Absolutely. Again, congratulations, Bren Esports. It was a bit rocky. They did not clean it out with a 2-0, but they will win it out with a 2-1. That puts him on top against Execration here, 1 point behind. And Signal Ultra, of course, still in third place. We still got a few games tomorrow, so that will definitely change up very, very soon. We have the interview there being set up for Coco. But for the meantime, for the English stream, I think that will be it. Don't forget, like, share, and comment on the Mobile Legends Bang Bang Facebook page. This is the MPL Season 2, Road to the Nationals, brought to you by our legendary sponsor, Smart. And we are going to be, we were your shoutcasters for that game. I'm Rockhart.
And I'm Zendex.
Thanks so much for watching this Mobile Legends esports action at its finest. Stay tuned for tomorrow for more.
Years flew by, and the king got serious disease with few days left. The palace was covered in sadness and panic. Rebel and unrest seized the chance, and the whole palace fell into chaos.
Foreign forces started their invasion upon hearing the death of the king. Poor Maharpura was under will of its enemies and soon became devastated.
A messenger managed to escape quietly and found Minsitar, the former prince. He told Minsitar that the king had long ago forgiven him, and now Maharpura was in great crisis. The prince should take the holy spear and save the kingdom and his people. Prince unhesitatingly took the holy spear and fought against the enemies. Finally, through countless wars, Minsitar wiped out all the invaders and rebelling enemies.
Maharpura was at peace again. Prince Minsitar was deeply loved by the people and ascended the throne. He became the next king of Maharpura.
Minsitar brought revolution and innovation to his kingdom.
Hi everyone, welcome to another episode of Hero Spotlight. Today we will introduce to you a new hero,
Minsitar.
the courageous
Minsitar.
stabs forward with the Spear of Glory, dealing physical damage to all enemies along the way. When pulling back the spear, he will also pull the first enemy towards himself, dealing physical damage and knocks them back afterwards. Try to better use this skill and pull back the backline heroes who are easy to slay, even when they're hiding behind the tanks. Second skill.
Minsitar awakens the strength of the golden shield to obtain a shield effect.
And immediately increases movement speed. Meanwhile, he releases the power within the golden shield forward. The power explodes upon hitting the first enemy unit, and deals physical damage to all enemies in the area. The first enemy will be stunned for several seconds, and the other enemies will be knocked back. The range of the skill is not too wide, so better use it together with his first skill. And by doing so, the hit rate will be increased. Ultimate.
Minsitar.
Charges a short distance forward and calls 4 royal guards to form a shield and fight together with him. Each attack of royal guards deals physical damage. When staying in the area,
Minsitar.
increases his physical and magic defenses. Enemies within the field reduce movement speed and cannot use directional blink skills. The royal guards cannot move, but they'll attack enemies in the field first. This effect is a nightmare to those who heavily use blink skills. Try to use
Minsitar.
first skill, pull enemies back, and use his skill to finish them off. Passive.
Minsitar.
Inspires the whole team. Whenever teammates slay enemy heroes, he obtains extra gold. Whenever
Minsitar.
himself slays enemies, all the teammates obtain extra gold. With this passive, Minsitar can perform more ganks with his teammates without the worry of his farming falling behind. We recommend these 3 sets of equipment items.
Minsitar.
Ultimate will expose him to the enemies, so being more tanky is highly recommended. Endless Battle and Thunderbelt increase the damage of his first and second skills, as well as his survivability. In terms of emblems, we recommend the Fighter set, which consists of Bravery, Invasion, and Unbending Will. It focuses more on attack performance, which will also grant
Minsitar.
the possibility of killing an enemy with combo. For his battle spells, we recommend Flicker. Not only does it increase Minsitar's mobility, but also his flexibility in battle. Therefore, Flicker is practical for both attacking and withdrawing. Minsithar used his ultimate and dashed into the enemies, for the effect that their blink skills are restricted in the area by Minsithar. They had no way but running away. Tigreal dashed in and used his ultimate. He pulled all the enemies together. What a perfect combo. Enemies got wiped out. The victory was with
Minsithar.
Download for free Mobile Legends Bang Bang.
Legendary! Double kill! Chase me! Legendary!
Muscle of iron, bones of steel. No pain, no gain. Muscle of iron, bones of steel. Muscle of iron. Legends never surrender.
Godlike!
Download for free Mobile Legends Bang Bang. Download for free Mobile Legends Bang Bang.
Once upon a time, Maharpura was a rich and prosperous kingdom with great historical position. Minsithar was the prince of Maharpura. Young as he might be to serve in the forces, he was respected with his remarkable achievements and was called one of the 4 great generals of Maharpura. But heroes could never avoid falling for beauties. Minsithar met up with a beautiful girl on the lakeside of the palace, and soon later they fell in love with each other.
However, his father, the king, knew about it very quickly. Minsithar begged and begged, but still his father strongly stood against his love. Tense was the atmosphere when the king held the holy spear towards his son. Minsithar's father couldn't be more furious. Minsithar realized his decision could not be changed, and the consequence had already been beyond control. He was driven out of the palace.
Years flew by, and the king got serious disease with few days left. The palace was covered in sadness and panic. rebel and unrest seized the chance, and the whole palace fell into chaos.
Foreign forces started their invasion upon hearing the death of the king. Poor Maharpura was under will of its enemies and soon became devastated.
A messenger managed to escape quietly and found Minsithar, the former prince. He told Minsithar that the king had long ago forgiven him, and now Maharpura was in great crisis. The prince should take the holy spear and save the kingdom and his people. Prince unhesitatingly took the holy spear and fought against the enemies. Finally, through countless wars, Minsithar wiped out all the invaders and rebelling enemies.
Maharpura was at peace again. Prince Minsithar was deeply loved by the people and ascended the throne. He became the next king of Maharpura.
Minsithar brought revolution and innovation to his kingdom. Soon later, Maharpura became a prosperous kingdom again.
Download for free Mobile Legends Bang Bang.
Hi everyone, welcome to another episode of Hero Spotlight. Today we will introduce to you a new hero.
Minsithar.
The courageous warrior.
Minsithar
Is the king of the Maharpura. With the holy spear inherited from his father, he could pull any enemy to himself at his will. What is the most fearsome aspect of this hero is that he can summon 4 royal guards to fight at his side. In a word, this hero is a fighter that could summon guards to fight alongside him and stop enemies from escaping using directional blink skills. First skill.
Minsithar
Stabs forward with the Spear of Glory, dealing physical damage to all enemies along the way. When pulling back the spear, he will also pull the first enemy towards himself, dealing physical damage, and knocks them back afterwards. Try to better use this skill and pull back the backline heroes who are easy to slay, even when they're hiding behind the tanks. Second skill.
Minsithar awakens the strength of the golden shield to obtain a shield effect.
And immediately increases movement speed. Meanwhile, he releases the power within the golden shield forward. The power explodes upon hitting the first enemy unit, and deals physical damage to all enemies in the area. The first enemy will be stunned for several seconds, and the other enemies will be knocked back. The range of the skill is not too wide, so better use it together with his first skill. And by doing so, the hit rate will be increased. Ultimate.
Minsithar
Charges a short distance forward and calls 4 royal guards to form a shield and fight together with him. Each attack of royal guards deals physical damage. When staying in the area,
Minsithar
increases his physical and magic defenses. Enemies within the field reduce movement speed and cannot use directional blink skills. The royal guards cannot move, but they'll attack enemies in the field first. This effect is a nightmare to those who heavily use blink skills. Try to use
Minsithar
first skill, pull enemies back, and use his skill to finish them off. Passive.
Minsithar
Inspires the whole team. Whenever teammates slay enemy heroes, he obtains extra gold. Whenever
Minsithar
himself slays enemies, all the teammates obtain extra gold. With this passive, Minsithar can perform more ganks with his teammates without the worry of his farming falling behind. We recommend these 3 sets of equipment items.
Minsithar
Ultimate will expose him to the enemies, so being more tanky is highly recommended. Endless Battle and Thunderbelt increase the damage of his first and second skills, as well as his survivability. In terms of emblems, we recommend the Fighter set, which consists of Bravery, Invasion, and Unbending Will. It focuses more on attack performance, which will also grant
Minsithar
the possibility of killing an enemy with combo. For his battle spells, we recommend Flicker. Not only does it increase Minsithar's mobility, but also his flexibility in battle. Therefore, Flicker is practical for both attacking and withdrawing.
Minsithar.
Used his ultimate and dashed into the enemies, for the effect that their blink skills are restricted in the area by
Minsithar.
They had no way but running away. Tigreal dashed in and used his ultimate. He pulled all the enemies together. What a perfect combo. Enemies got wiped out. The victory was with
Minsithar.
Download for free Mobile Legends Bang Bang.
Legendary! Double kill! Chase me! Legendary!
Muscle of iron, bones of steel. No pain, no gain. Muscle of iron, bones of steel. Muscle of iron. Legends never surrender.
Godlike!
Download for free Mobile Legends Bang Bang.
Thought to miss you, another ticket.
Legendary! Our inhibitor turret is under attack. Legendary! You have slain an enemy! Kill!
Download for free Mobile Legends Bang Bang.
Once upon a time, Maharpura was a rich and prosperous kingdom with great historical position. Minsithar was the prince of Maharpura. Young as he might be to serve in the forces, he was respected with his remarkable achievements and was called one of the 4 great generals of Maharpura. But heroes could never avoid falling for beauties. Minsithar met up with a beautiful girl on the lakeside of the palace, and soon later they fell in love with each other.
However, his father, the king, knew about it very quickly. Minsithar begged and begged, but still his father strongly stood against his love. Tense was the atmosphere when the king held the holy spear towards his son. Minsithar's father couldn't be more furious. Minsithar realized his decision could not be changed, and the consequence had already been beyond control. He was driven out of the palace.
Years flew by, and the king got serious disease with few days left. The palace was covered in sadness and panic. Rebel and unrest seized the chance, and the whole palace fell into chaos.
Foreign forces started their invasion upon hearing the death of the king. Poor Mahapura was under will of its enemies and soon became devastated.
A messenger managed to escape quietly and found Minsitar, the former prince. He told Minsitar that the king had long ago forgiven him, and now Mahapura was in great crisis. The prince should take the holy spear and save the kingdom and his people. Prince unhesitatingly took the holy spear and fought against the enemies. Finally, through countless wars, Minsitar wiped out all the invaders and rebelling enemies.
Mahapura was at peace again. Prince Minsitar was deeply loved by the people and ascended the throne. He became the next king of Mahapura.
Minsitar brought revolution and innovation to his kingdom. Soon later, Mahapura became a prosperous kingdom again.
Download for free Mobile Legends Bang Bang.
Hi everyone, welcome to another episode of Hero Spotlight. Today we will introduce to you a new hero.
Minsitar.
The courageous warrior
Minsitar
is the king of the Mahapura. With the holy spear inherited from his father, he could pull any enemy to himself at his will. What is the most fearsome aspect of this hero is that he can summon 4 royal guards to fight at his side. In a word, this hero is a fighter that could summon guards to fight alongside him and stop enemies from escaping using directional blink skills. First skill,
Minsitar
stabs forward with the Spear of Glory, dealing physical damage to all enemies along the way. When pulling back the spear, he will also pull the first enemy towards himself, dealing physical damage and knocks them back afterwards. Try to better use this skill and pull back the backline heroes who are easy to slay even when they're hiding behind the tanks. Second skill,
Minsitar awakens the strength of the golden shield to obtain a shield effect,
and immediately increases movement speed. Meanwhile, he releases the power within the golden shield forward. The power explodes upon hitting the first enemy unit and deals physical damage to all enemies in the area. The first enemy will be stunned for several seconds and the other enemies will be knocked back. The range of the skill is not too wide, so better use it together with his first skill, and by doing so, the hit rate will be increased. Ultimate.
Minsitar
Charges a short distance forward and calls 4 royal guards to form a shield and fight together with him. Each attack of royal guards deals physical damage. When staying in the area,
Minsitar
increases his physical and magic defenses. Enemies within the field reduce movement speed and cannot use directional blink skills. The royal guards cannot move, but they'll attack enemies in the field first. This effect is a nightmare to those who heavily use blink skills. Try to use
Minsitar
first skill, pull enemies back, and use his skill to finish them off. Passive.
Minsitar
Inspires the whole team. Whenever teammates slay enemy heroes, he obtains extra gold. Whenever
Minsitar
himself slays enemies, all the teammates obtain extra gold. With this passive, Minsitar can perform more ganks with his teammates without the worry of his farming falling behind. We recommend these 3 sets of equipment items.
Minsitar
Ultimate will expose them to the enemies, so being more tanky is highly recommended. Endless Battle and Thunderbelt increase the damage of his first and second skills, as well as survivability. In terms of emblems, we recommend the Fighter set, which consists of bravery, invasion, and unbending will. It focuses more on attack performance, which will also grant an enemy with combo. For his battle spells, we recommend Flicker. Not only does it increase Minsithar's mobility, but also his flexibility in battle. Therefore, Flicker is practical for both attacking and withdrawing.
Minsithar
Used his ultimate and dashed into the enemies, for the effect that their blink skills are restricted in the area by
Minsithar.
They had no way but running away. Tigreal dashed in and used his ultimate. He pulled all the enemies together. What a perfect combo. Enemies got wiped out. The victory was with
Minsithar.
Download for free Mobile Legends Bang Bang.
Legendary! Double kill! Chase me! Legendary!
Muscle of iron, bones of steel. No pain, no gain. Muscle of iron, bones of steel. Muscle of iron. Legends never surrender.
Godlike!
Download for free Mobile Legends Bang Bang.
Glad to miss you. Another treat.
Legendary! Our inhibitor turret is under attack. Legendary! You have slain an enemy! Kill!
Download for free Mobile Legends Bang Bang.
Once upon a time, Maharpura was a rich and prosperous kingdom with great historical position. Minsithar was the prince of Maharpura. Young as he might be to serve in the forces, he was respected with his remarkable achievements and was called one of the 4 great generals of Maharpura. But heroes could never avoid falling for beauties.